Hello, participants.
Good evening, one and all. I welcome you all for the day 5 of Tableau DataViz Challenge 2021. Now, before handovering the session to Mr. Mohan, I would like to mention that regarding enrollment of your challenge to the domains enrollment and regarding how to submit your work and about Smart Interns platform, we'll tell you at the end of this regular session. Thank you. Uh, I request Mr. Mohan to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, and good evening, one and all. Welcome to your day 5 journey on the Tableau DataViz Challenge. I hope we all had some good time with the Tableau hands-on session yesterday, and we all tried something on the dashboards, exciting dashboards that we all worked in the yesterday's project. Now, let me discuss my agenda with you all today. Let me share my screen space with you all. Participants, can you all see my presentation?
Yes, your screen is visible, Mr. Mohan.
Thank you. So welcome to day 5 and today's agenda. Here we go with today's agenda. We are due off creating a story in Tableau that we are supposed to cover yesterday due to time constraint. I'm just pulling it for today's hands-on exercise. Once we complete the process of creating a story point in Tableau, then we would be working today hands-on with the entire process that we worked on, right from bringing out different visualizations, then pulling them into a Tableau dashboard. A similar process we would be doing today on the COVID-19 dataset, and where we are supposed to visually analyze interesting patterns among the ongoing scenario of COVID-19 using Tableau dashboards. After the project illustration demonstration hands-on, we would then focus our attention on publishing and distributing the created dashboard using one of the widely recognized product from the Tableau suite, that is Tableau Public. I hope so all participants have already registered. If not, please kindly register on the Tableau Public with your credential. Then finally, we'll have the technical Q&A followed by the closure of the session. This is the brief agenda for the evening today. Welcome everyone. Let's go into our proceedings. After an in-depth hands-on experience with visual analytics on the leader of visualization technology Tableau, right from a basic view to a data visualization to an integral interactive dashboard, the next important element paradigm in Tableau is how to create a story. Typically, data processing reports in legacy operational IT software always transform raw data into structured, tabular, inherent, interdependent information properties. With improvisation in the information systems, today we had management information systems and enterprise resource planning systems that could handle data in big data varieties and volumes. Graphical data processing is also on a high demand. So there are multiple varieties of processing data, but Tableau allows us without much effort, with ease of use and with simple navigations, complex data can be transformed, converted, or presented in a suitable visualization, and you can view, describe, or explain a story about what the visualization conveys. Thus, in Tableau, we can consider a story is nothing but yet another worksheet that can be included or embedded among the array of the worksheets that we are building. Each a sheet or a story that is depicting certain visualization and an inherent meaning within it is technically called a story point in Tableau. For example, in the yesterday's retail banking term deposit case study, we could discover certain knowledge insights like what are the best days of marketing, what are the months that are prospective for a telecalling team to contact a customer, how call duration should be defined and managed in order to transform a contact into a prospective or a lead. There are different insights which we can actually consider and present it in a further refined format as a story point. Stories are considered in the current scenario of analytics, analytical data-driven environments. Stories are essential and are thought of as a best alternative than any other kind of information report. Rather than building a complex account statement in the financial section by an organization, one can pick up the right kind of data, transform into suitable visualization, and present your data, which is very easy to read and comprehend. Typically, saying story point is all about it captures a particular point or your insight. When a navigator, I mean the person who tries to visualize, understand the story or a story point, just need to see the caption. Caption is the like a tooltip or a brief, short, concise description, usually which appears at the top of each story point with a suitable title, optional suitable title. One can easily understand the simple title that we add to each story point, giving a meaning or a readability meaning to the observer in order to understand what that visualization actually means. So let's begin our hands-on on adding a story to our yesterday's project on term deposit analysis for retail bank customers. I request all the participants to connect to your Tableau workbook that we created yesterday. If you couldn't save it, not an issue, you can watch my illustration, but those people who have saved it, fortunately yesterday, can open it and keep it ready on your screen. Let me share my Tableau workspace to you all. Participants, can you all see my Tableau application?
Yes, it's visible.
Great. Great. There are a plethora of visualizations that we build for our queries regarding our exploratory data analysis. And we got a very simple dashboard with some elements, operational elements like sliders that we added. Today, we will now create a story for it and also learn how to create a much professional dashboard that can be published and distributed to the community. On the status bar, you find 3 buttons like your new worksheet, new dashboard, and adjacent to the new dashboard button, find out participants, you have a new story button. I repeat, on your status bar at the bottom, you have 3 buttons, namely new story, new worksheet, and new dashboard. Click on the third new story button. So just click the new story button. Before creating a story, the prerequisite is there is a sequence of activities to be carried by the Tableau data analyst. Connect to your data or a data source or a mix of heterogeneous data sources. Then plan your visualizations that you are actually in order to execute what kind of analysis you're going to model around your data. Then after extracting or after building the right kind of your visualizations, then create a professional looking dashboard, make it interactive, and then finally pick up appropriate views of the sheets or visualizations, including a dashboard, and then build a story suitable for the project. So this is my initial typical layout of the Tableau story canvas. There are a bunch of worksheets or the Tableau views, worksheet views regarding the visualizations that we have developed yesterday on your left side. Hope all of you, the hands-on practitioners who are doing it parallelly with me, could also be on this live screen. And what are the best points to be pulled out in order to describe the story? Let us discuss. The KPIs, the key performance indicators for the term deposit retail banking that we discovered yesterday include the nature of deposit buyers by their age group, how are the distribution of bank customers according to the jobs and their age, deposit buyers by the day of the week, deposit buyers by month, what are the best days for marketing, then deposit buyers by age group and by call duration, and then a cumulative dashboard. So today we'll start understanding with first deposit buyers by education. So let's drag the worksheet named deposit buyers by bank or whatever title you participants have coined for your respective worksheets. Pick up the worksheet education versus deposit and drop it in the canvas story canvas. This is the graphical view visualization indicating the segmentation of depositors by education level. Now, on top of this visualization, Tableau is displaying you a small tooltip or workspace where you can add your short, concise description what this visualization actually conveys. Make sure that just don't simply type a title here. Title is different. A description of the story point is different. So some practitioners might just end up in using a suitable title as deposit buyers by education. Already your worksheet title conveys the same meaning. So it is not advisable to once again duplicate the same title. Rather, you can elaborate what this worksheet actually means. Observe the worksheet participants, and if you clearly see on the yes category, a portion of the bank customers in the database under study or the sample under study who majoritarily said yes hold a university degree. Check out the visualization where I'm hovering the mouse here. 1670 applicants or the bank customers who have likely responded as yes to the telecalling team hold a university degree. It is better to describe that statement here in the story as a story point. Most likely buyers hold a university degree. You can keep it very simple, university degree. Most likely buyers hold a university degree. So you can just type it and you can enlarge it so that you can view the complete title. This is the story point. Most likely buyers hold a university degree. Now this is for the story point briefing about the visualization named deposit buyers by education. Now, if you want to add further story points to the current story, you just notice on the left side of the story pane, you have two buttons. One is blank, one is duplicate. On the left side, you can notice participants, you have a blank button and a duplicate. In order to add additional or a new story point, just click on the blank button and you notice an empty canvas is ready for you to add another story point. But if you want to see the previous one, you can hover on the breadcrumb. This is called the breadcrumb navigation, where you can just actually switch to a particular story point and know what is the insight in it. So we are in the current new story point canvas. What is the next thing that we want to describe? So let us pull, after this activity, let us pull the next visualization that we have built yesterday, best days for marketing. Well, let's drag the worksheet we named best days for marketing and drop it into the canvas. Now, what does this mean? This bar graph is explaining us or visually instructing us that the prospective buyer is the one who responds more likely yes to the telecalling team, mostly on Thursday. So what statement or what caption can we add? Let us see. Most buyers, a very simple plain English you can use. Most term deposit buyers, to keep the context alive, because we are planning, the bank is planning to sell term deposits. Most term deposit buyers are likely to respond on Thursday of the week. So you can check out the graph is telling us the story point that the orange color legend denotes the yes responses. Majority of the bank customers would likely to accept or at least say yes towards a term deposit for a telecaller, mostly on Thursday. So this is a very simple description. You can just at the corners, hold on your corners, drag your story point tooltip, and you can see here most term deposit buyers are likely to respond on a Thursday of the week. So each graph can be explained short and concise in order to give the insight understood very easily. So this is the second story point that we could actually build out. Let's keep on escalating our story points and by giving a right insights to the bank in the story template. Let's click a blank story point. Let's create another story point. The process is similar. The breadcrumb keeps on growing step by step. The next view, hope all participants are following the instruction. Added first two story point. The first one is what? Most likely buyers hold a university degree in this case, and most term deposit buyers are likely to respond on Thursday of the week. Now let's identify other KPI. The other KPI is month. How do term deposit buyers of the bank are responding in different months? So month is the third KPI the bank should actually focus on. So let's investigate the behavior of the term deposit buyers by month. So add a blank sheet, go to the empty canvas and pick up the sheet named deposit buyers by month. Drag it onto the right. You can just expand it. You can see the names of the worksheets in the Tableau workbook clearly. Adjust your screen size and then accordingly you can pick up the right worksheets to build the KPIs of the story points. Now notice when I just scroll down here, typically in the yes category, if you can see on the right side here, yes category, what are the months during which the prospective customers are most likely to respond yes? The visualization says that in the month of May, majority of the buyers are likely to respond yes to the telecalling team, followed by the months of July and August. There is a close competition between July and August, not much difference, but May seems to be the best month for telecalling. So you can just add a typical caption, meaningful caption here, participants. The current worksheet which we have pulled into the story is deposit buyers by month. So term deposit buyers are most likely to respond in the months of May, July, and August. So this is the typical tooltip or the caption, technically saying, that you can add to the current visualization. Term deposit buyers. So why we are adding these story points? Banking firms, being heavily occupied into their day-to-day complex routines, cannot investigate, examine each and every visualization, understand. They can simply go through the story point collection in this Tableau story and understand those KPIs, like what kind of business parameters should they actually consider or follow in the future so that they can run their processes, business routines effectively. In this case, to effectively sell, market term deposits, they must consider the education level of the customer, the day of the week, and the month. Typically, the storyboard briefs the KPIs to the banking firm. Term deposit buyers are most likely to respond in the months of May, July, and August. So 3 story points we have added to the current story project of Tableau. Let's continue. If you further want to add more points, you can keep on continuing the process. Just click on the blank button, push button, and you can just get the canvas, empty canvas. Of course, we also discovered few other insights in our project experiment yesterday, that age group and call duration, of course, are also affecting the nature of deposits buyers to a certain extent. So hypothetical assumption by a data researcher is include these two. It is also a good practice, a best practice, to include the parameters called age group and call duration, of course, into a story, because they also might add a certain value to the project. So add a new story point, participants, the next story point, and drag and drop the worksheet named deposit buyers by age group into your canvas, story canvas. And this illustration, this visualization yesterday we developed was commenting on the distribution of the deposit buyers, either yes or no, over age group. Age group we actually created yesterday. The age group field is not readily available. We just grouped all the data. There were certain queries from the participants regarding the bin and the group. Once again, I'm explaining. Group is the activity when you have a data item field under which you have a collection of categories. And if you want to represent categories of a data item or a field on a representative basis, you can group them to better explore the data. But remember, grouping of data takes place on dimensions. Sometimes, apart from the dimensions in our dataset participants, we also have the continuous variables measures. To understand the spread of the data item on a particular field or a measure statistically, we also conduct another type of grouping activity technically called bin. Bin is nothing but another grouping activity, but it is performed not on dimension but on a measure. So bins are built on measures while groups are created on dimensions. So let's add the caption here. What does this visualization mean to us? Majority of the buyers who are responding likely as yes, they are in the age group. If you can see this visualization, a significant portion, about 1,000 at least, the count of the likely responding yes users are in the age group 28 to 35 and 36 to 50. Thus, this visual insight builds a KPI to the bank stating that during telecalling, the priority age groups that the telecalling or email marketing teams should focus is on 28 to 50 years. The age group between 28 to 50 is that specific age group or a target age group which have actually shown more probability or likeliness or likelihood in responding positively towards the telecalling activity. So how to add a caption to this current visualization? We can describe it much more plain English. Telecalling teams must target age groups, must target the prospective customers in the age group of 28. There are two groups, that is, one is 28 to 35, 36 to 50. You can form a single group here, 28 to 50 years for effective sales. This is a shorter description that you can write here. You can just enlarge it. So this story point is telling to the bank that before telecalling, check out this KPI, very important, 28 to 50 years, responded positively in the past, so you can target them for the present and the future. Telecalling teams must target the prospective customers in the age group of 28 to 50 years for effective sales. Now, we are left over with yet another knowledge insight that we discovered yesterday, how call duration was very significant, as you all viewed in the visualization yesterday with your experience. Call duration also played some significant role in deciding the probabilistic nature of buying a term deposit by the customer. So after adding the 5 story points or 4 story points of your choice, let's continue the process. Click on a blank command, blank push button, and add a new story point by dragging the worksheet named deposit buyers by call duration. So in your case, whatever the convenient name you participants have coined for your worksheet, call duration, please include the call duration worksheet into the story as a story point, because that also had some effect on the outcome. Now, when you drill down, when you just analyze the results, the Tableau tool just segmented the entire bunch of the customers in the research sample or data under study into 2 categories, yes and no, by segmenting the call duration into 6 groups. The nature of the call duration data item we discussed yesterday was in seconds actually. Then we grouped all the call duration into a bunch of groups in terms of minutes. The time frame we just customized in terms of minutes. From the visualization, it is evident that customers or term deposit responders are more likely to respond when the call duration lies between 2 to 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes. So how to add a caption? So which among these call duration timeframes are crucial to convert a customer into a future prospect? So we can call once again here a caption for this thing. Call duration must be restricted to 5 to 10 minutes at maximum for effective sales and conversions. So conversions is nothing but a prospect picking up the telecaller's call, listening to the call, and then accepting to buy a term deposit. So at max, the telecalling team can restrict their call duration to 5 to 10 minutes. So what does this convey is below 5 minutes, that is 2 to 5 slab is also acceptable. But what does this sense is any calls which are made above 10 minutes participants, they are going to directly show a negative effect on the business outcome. Why? Because the graphs clearly depict, as you can see in the S category, the 10 to more than 10 minutes are resulting in not responding likely. But at the same time, the no category, you can see call duration or telephonic calls with call duration over and above 5 to 10 minutes, resulting in less number of no's. But from a typical point of common sense, as we look into this research statement or visualization, customer with more than 10 minutes of interaction or conversation is not saying no, but it doesn't imply or doesn't mean that customer is likely to buy or definitely will say yes. He's just or she's just listening to the call but may not be responding. That's why the outcome can be unknown. Hence, we cannot confidently add in the caption that more than 5 to 10 minutes of calls are appreciated to cut down the unlikeliness or the least probability. Hence, we go for the best probability, that is 5 to 10 minute duration can bring more business calls as per the visualization speaks. So these are all the typical story points that we have added by dragging the appropriate visualizations into this thing. If you want to navigate on the breadcrumb, you have been given the left and right pointers and navigational pointers. As you can notice, we are empowering. Just click on, you can just navigate between each story. We just started with the first one. Once again, for a review, we just pulled the education and deposits visualization. Most likely buyers hold a university degree. Then you can click on the next story point. This is the one briefing about how people respond to the telecalling on the day of the week. Thursday of the week was found to be prospective because many buyers are likely to respond. Then you can just expand this story point scale and you can just check out how are the term deposit buyers responding to the telecallers in different months. Among the calendar year months, namely May, July, and August, as per the data visualization, were found to be somewhat better in terms of responses. Then click on the navigations further. This visualization was telling how telecalling teams must carefully decide the target groups in terms of ages, specifically, so that how can the effective sales happen. Then you can see the max duration or the call duration with 5 to 10 minutes at the maximum, indicating lower slabs might be a bit prospect, but any call duration slabs above 10 minutes are not that great. After adding the story points participants, you can see the default title, as I said, suitable optional title is by default referred as story 1. Give a meaningful name. What is this story point collection actually meant? So double click on story 1. I repeat, after adding all the story points, the analyst must give a meaningful, suitable title rather than the default name, that is story 1. Double click on story 1. What name shall we give? After all, what are all these story points telling us? They're telling us term deposit sales for retail bank. for a particular retail bank, how are the term deposit sales actually are happening in terms of different KPIs is what this Tableau story is conveying us. Hence the title, what you just do is term deposit buyers. If you want, you can format it, like you can increase the font size, the font style, the color, font color, everything can be done. But that I will show you how to format it on the story template directly. So type the title as term deposit sales for retail bank. Click apply, click OK. Notice your given title appears on top of the story template. Now, this is a brief about how to build a story. At the end of this discussion, one should also learn, before you share the story to the community of users who are interested to explore your project, it is a good practice to format, add some cosmetic to the story so that users receive a very professional looking business story. So how to format it, let us see. Build the story points and then go to your format menu. Under the format menu, participants, you can see the first option you have been given is a story. So click on story. This will launch the format story pop-up dialog with several options for you to pick up from in order to customize, add more formatting features to build a rich visual story for your business. So the shading is default shading for your storyboard. Like you can just see here, this is a default shading, what you're noticing for each story point. But you can click on the default shading drop down and pick up any shade of your choice. The preferred shades, as you can see, are much lighter ones, and you can pick up any shade of your choice. Let me go for this. As you can see, when I'm hovering the mouse and clicking on a particular shade, in the background, you can see the implication of that shading appearing in the template, right? Okay, then, if you want to format your title of your story, currently the title of the storyline is with a Tableau regular on 18 points. You can click the drop down and you can choose any of your required Tableau fonts with the required color. So I can just want to go with a bold, a Tableau bold, and I just would like to go ahead with some kind of a typical orange. Yes. So this is how you can make your story point look more professional, attractive, clean. Then alignment is up to your choice, like how you, by default, all text alignments in any document, electronic document system are left aligned. If you want to, you can keep them centered, right? All document center, but you can go with the default left alignment. Then the navigator font is default 9 point. You can change the navigator font if required. All other things are at the custom hands of the user, how you would like to present your story. So if you want to clear all the set fields, you can clear and go back to the defaults. So this is how you can build a storyline. For your convenience, you can rename instead of story one, you can rename it and give a meaningful name to your story. Term deposit sales for the retail bank. So hope so, participants, all of you understood how Tableau provides you that rich kind of features like dashboard, stories to build story points, all raw data which was given to initially in a certain format like a text file or an Excel or a database system or a warehouse has been effectively transformed into great stunning visualization, which when understood, watched upon by a layman can be easily understood. Thus, in the era of big data, do you all admit that converting that volumes and varieties into quick, stunning looking visualizations would definitely simplify in understanding complex business processes? What do you say, participants? Right. One has to understand the power of visual analytics and you understand, apply, implement that processes, and then effectively transform your big data challenges into easy to read, understand visual dashboards and story points, right? So you can save your worksheet for time being if you want. Just click save. Now you have rich collection of worksheet views, interactive dashboard, and effective story point. Right. Now let's take a new sheet here because we are going to start the next most important project, that is building yet another dashboard for yet another decent experience with the COVID data set. Right. Let's go to a file, click on new workbook, request all the participants to create a new workbook in your Tableau workspace. You're going to now work on the COVID data set. This would launch a new workbook here. Let me share the screen space to you once again. Hope you all can see a new workbook, participants. A fresh one. Shivam, it is visible to you? Everybody can see my new workbook, I hope.
Yes, Mr. Mohan, it is visible.
Great. Let's start enjoying the richness once again on the journey taken yesterday on Tableau dashboards. This is for the benefit of the participants. We have planned yet another case study on the current scenario of the entire global, that is COVID-19 impact on the people health across the world. The data set, I hope, was already shared and you all received. Please download and keep the data set ready for next stunning visualization project experience. Connect to data. The data set given to you is an Excel file format. So choose the data repository as Microsoft Excel. Identify your data set. So I have in my Excel workbook, or I have it in my desktop, I think, probably. Let me check out where I just kept on my desktop. All files, yes. I have COVID-19 data, so it's a CSV format, so please choose text file rather than Excel file. The data set that was shared to you was a CSV file. So while connecting to data participants, please choose the option text file. The COVID-19 data, the file named COVID-19 data, is the data repository that you have to connect to Tableau today. Click open. Now, this is the volume of data discussing a huge collection. The data was acquired from World Health Organization, indicating the serial number of the observation recorded, the date of recording the observation, the province or state at which the data was raised, the country or region, last update on the activity, but three major variables, explanatory variables, like confirmed number of cases of COVID, number of deaths, and number of patients recovered, or the recovered status. At brief, these are the variables available in our data set, and we are going to now develop some kind of visual analytics with the COVID-19 data set and try to build a professional looking dashboard where we would like to finally develop a BI dashboard and submit it to WHO, stating like how is the distribution of COVID cases in terms of confirmation, deaths and recovery by country, region, dynamic interactive dashboard we are going to build. Once we complete the dynamic dashboard, then we will publicly distribute this dashboard on our Tableau public profile. And then finally, we will take up the technical knowledge base Q&A. So ready to go here. Hope all the participants doing hands-on have connected the right data set named COVID-19 data text file to Tableau application. Click on sheet 1. Understand the distribution of parameters by dimensions and measures. The data set is a collection of few dimensions, namely your the geographical parameters. Tableau identifies the geographical parameters, namely country, region, provision, state. You can see the icons typically, and the date, observation date, and last update on which the data were created. Certain measures indicating the data items in a continuous measure, namely confirmed cases, deaths, and recovery, or number of recovered cases, is what the information at hand for the data analyst or the researcher to start the project experience. So the first typical thing that we are going to do in the project is Understand the distribution of COVID cases. I repeat, explore and understand the distribution of COVID cases by country region. How to begin? Default in Tableau, Tableau has got the appeal to build map-based visualizations, which you all learned. Density maps, variety of map-based visualizations are one of the rich added features in Tableau. So for this, after connecting the data set, the first step is let's explore the distribution of COVID cases by country region. For that, drag the dimension named country region from the tables list and directly drop it into the canvas or the workspace. You can see here where I am dropping exactly do the same navigation participants. I'm not dropping in the columns or rows, just drag into the data canvas. Once done, Tableau will generate a map view with the latitude and longitude of the location. There are 6 unknown data items Tableau could not understand by default. So we will now just click on the unknown label here after dropping the country region into the canvas. Then either you can edit the locations if you know the current location names, like you all did in a basic exercise with the mentor on Tableau, edit locations, or you can filter the data. But let us go for the project exercise with show data at default position. So whatever data was collected by World Health Organization team at the default locations or the countries or state or region, let's go with the default position. So please click on show data at default position. But how did I get this? Once again, we just dragged country or region field into the canvas, the data canvas. Tableau by default shows a world map view, and you can click on the unidentified unknown categories that will give you the special values dialog. Then go ahead with show data default. So this is the show data default, but understanding this type of scattering data, uncertain data is very typical. Let's add a map view to the project. So click on show me tab. Under the show me tab, because the analyst is now interested in studying the data distribution by a geography, Tableau recommends you with map-based views. See, all the panel of maps, only map-based views are the suitable graphs here. That's why Tableau's intelligence would actually add a lot of value to the beginners. So I just choose the map view here, the second one, the map view. When I click on map view participants, notice you all got a geographical world map view. Request all the participants to first complete this step. I'll wait for you. What we did, we just dragged the country or region into the canvas, and we just clicked on the unknown button and we just went with the default data. Then click on show me tab. We have chosen the map view layout for the visualization. Now we got the world map view. You can notice our country, India. Yes, exactly here, somewhere here. The India map you can see in the world map view. So this is the distribution of the country or view, or simply to say we have just created the world map. That's it. Now what we are going to do with this world map, right? Our intention is we want to study the distribution of COVID cases. There are 3 measures like how COVID was distributed across the world in terms of confirmed cases, deaths, and recovered cases. So once built on this, the world map, you can start pulling your required measures and adding some tooltips. You know, tooltip is a simple label that when hovered with mouse gets displayed. Like when I'm hovering, country names are initially getting displayed. So let's, after building the world map participants, drag the measure named confirmed and drop it on the tooltip. Now notice the aggregation function is default sum in Tableau on a measure. So the sum of confirmed cases, I mean total confirmed cases for a particular country or region, are now being added up to the map. So what we did, drag the confirmed measure and drop it on the tooltip card. Now notice tooltip. Let's hover the mouse. Now, when I hover the mouse on the world map, the country name Brazil is showing the number of confirmed cases. When you go to United States, hover the mouse on US, you can see the number of confirmed cases. So tooltip is one of the simplest way of presenting the data on a world map. And you go to India map here. This is the India map, which is highlighted. You can see here. This is the number of confirmed cases given in the data set by WHO in the year. The data was collected for the period 2020 to 2021 for your information. Now, likewise, it is also imperative for us to understand what is the number of deaths followed by number of recovered cases by each geographical location. Similarly, drag the measure deaths and drop it on Tooltip. Drag the measure deaths and drop it on Tooltip. Now you can notice here the number of confirmed cases now along with the deaths are also being represented by each country. So drag all the measures and drop them on Tooltips so that in the world map altogether you can inspect, explore. This is exploratory data analysis on COVID data with map visualizations in Tableau. Then take the last measure, that is recovered, and drop it on the Tooltip. Now finally, this is what we want. At each country, what is the number of confirmed cases, deaths, and recovered? US and Canada, and this is India, right? So a map-based visualization provides a great picture of certain data insights from various measures by geography. Till here, it is very good. But imagine if you were asked by the WHO, asking you data analysts, pick up that country which has got more number of deaths and recovery or confirmed cases. So at this point, the challenge would be more complicated because you cannot hover your mouse in every country and manually explore the distribution of the COVID patterns across the countries. So map-based visualization is only a gate pass or an entry point for the analyst to understand the distribution. So let me know whether you all could actually accomplish it till here, all of you. All participants, make sure that the map visualization was completed successfully before I take you all to the next step. Fantastic, very good. But let's format this map-based visualization for our convenience so that we can actually understand what kind of the distribution. You can format it by the colorification. So you have a color panel here. So I want to format this world map with starting with confirmed cases, because deaths and recovery measures are uncertain by country. Today, the World Health Organization and the authorities, regulatory authorities, governments of each country are very much worried, bothered about, or concerned about how are the cases growing day by day. Confirmed cases are growing day by day. Hence, as a visual analyst, our key concern or the topmost query that we have to address is number of confirmed cases by country. So drag the confirmed total number of confirmed cases into the color palette. Now you can notice here, when I dragged the measure confirmed and drop it on the color card, notice how the allocation of confirmed cases by geographical locations is now being visualized by the map visualization Tableau. I repeat, after adding the measures to the tooltips, the next activity you all have to do is drag the measure confirmed and drop it on the color card. Now you can see your visualization transforming into another format where you can see some colorification. Density of the map can best be experienced. Now you can see on the scale the minimum number of cases to the maximum, with the minimum shown in a light colorification intensity, while countries experiencing more confirmed cases are represented in the visualization in a dark blue intensified color, right? So I hope all of you got this output as shown. In order to approach for a better visualization, let us hide this. Just click on the drop down here. Let us hide this card. Click on the drop down and click on just hide card. Now you have a complete view of your map visualization. In order to enrich the visualization, let us further format it with the formatting techniques. So I just click on the color card again, and let me increase the opacity. The opacity of the color initial was 80%. And notice participants, when I'm increasing from 80% to 100, you can see countries with more confirmed cases like US, India, and others are now being shown in more opacity, that is the darkened intensification. So the idea here is you can increase the opacity to 100%. Further too, if the analyst wants to present the visualization in much more better format, you can edit the colors. Like you can click on the edit color button. First increase opacity to 100%, all of you. Once done, then click on edit colors. Default color palette is automatic in Tableau. Click on the automatic drop down and you can choose from different combos, either individual colorification schemes or the combos that are available. You can just choose any color of choice to distinguish the representation more professionally. But for the point of time, we would like to keep the colorification default with the opacity at 100%. So if I hover mouse on US, you can simply see how are the distribution of cases by confirmed, death, and recovered. So let's finally format this visualization in order to add more life to the visualization by choosing the tooltip format. So just click on tooltip participants. Once you click on tooltip, you can see the tooltip dialog box just appears here, right? You can see the tooltip. Just take it here. Yes, this is the tooltip. I hope you all can see the edit tooltip dialog box, right? In the edit tooltip dialog box, if you can see, you can confirm the deaths and recovered. The formatting features are available. So select the first aggregation function, sum confirmed, select it and increase the font size a bit to 12 points. 12 points and
your screen is now shuffle, I think. So the screen is for Tableau book one is shared right now.
now I'm sharing the current one. Check out if you want. Can you see the current one?
Yes, now see the current one.
So I mean to say for the participants, after intensification, color intensification on the worksheet, let us format the tooltips also. Why? Because when we hover the mouse on the visualization, you can see the display labels, the tooltips are all shown in a general regular font. To add beauty, cosmetic look and feel to the visualization, let us format the tooltip. How to do that? Just click on the tooltip card on your marks section or the marks pane. When you click on tooltip, now I think you can see the edit tooltip dialog box appearing, right? In the edit tooltip, select each aggregation function, that is sum of confirmed, that is each value of the tooltip can be formatted as per the user's choice. So increase the point, bump the points from 10 to 12 points, make it bold, and select a particular color, a blue color of your choice. I repeat, we are formatting the tooltips as per our convenience for better display. Then similarly, select the next aggregation function, sum of deaths, that is the next tooltip label deaths, and bump the font points to a 14 point, and you can choose a colorification of your choice at your convenience. So this is how the tooltip label values will be displayed as per the formatting specification being mentioned by the user. Bump the points to 16 point or a 15 point, whatever is your choice, you're interested. Then pick up a certain color. Then these are the formatting techniques. This is all regular text formatting that you people normally do in an electronic Word document processing activity. So pick up your tooltip labels, format them. Once done, you can simply click OK. Now hover your mouse pointer, check out the formatting techniques being applied. So now the map is looking very professional. Distribution of COVID cases globally in the world map by country region in terms of confirmed deaths and recovered cases. This is the first visualization of the COVID-19 dataset project that you all have to build. So you can see India somewhat is fortunate enough when compared to other countries till the period from March 20 to the Feb 2021. But currently now, as the bells are ringing high and the alarms are raised, the number of cases in India and different states are rapidly increasing. So current data set is till February. That's why the data intensification is a bit low. But still, we are on a huge competition with US. Hope all participants could do the activity till here. Let me know, everyone. Right? Yeah. Great. Now, let's continue our learning activity in the COVID-19 dataset further experience with customizing data and drilling down more insights on the dataset. Add a new sheet, participants. On the status bar, click on add new sheet or new worksheet button. This will add a new sheet. Can you all see my new sheet? I hope. Right? New sheet is visible to all the participants. Now, what we are going to do in this new sheet, there is a bit of calculations and manipulations that we are going to do on this data set. As the data was given by data of observation, a data analyst or a visual practitioner of data must be more interested to explore the patterns related to what is the number of confirmed cases by on a different observation date. Thus, what we do is in the next sheet, in the next project activity visualization, let's take the observation date and drop it into the row shelf. I repeat, please pick up a new sheet, participants. After the first map visualization is completed and formatted, take a new sheet. In the current new sheet, we are interested to answer a query with our exploration, how the distribution of cases by confirmed deaths and recovery are related to the date of observation or date of record. So when we dragged the observation date into the row shelf, notice Tableau is displaying the year because by default, Tableau aggregates date fields by year. You can slice down, drill down this attribute into months, quarters, days, and weeks also. Default date aggregation is by year. Now you can see, participants, here, the data given to you was spreading from a certain month of 2020 to a certain month of 2021, mostly from March 2020 to a Feb or March 2021. So if any participant has a doubt on the spread of the data, you can quickly check out in the next visualization that we are creating. So the data is spread from 2020, March to 2021, that we will also discover through the bar graph visualization. Then what are we going to study in the current visualization? We are going to study the number of confirmed cases. So drag the confirmed cases and drop it into the columns. Drag it into the columns. Now you can see Tableau is representing a typical line graph because whenever a time related parameter associates, Tableau by default shows a line graph. Total number of confirmed cases by year is what we got. Let us convert this visualization into a bar chart representation. So request all the participants to watch the on-screen demonstration and accordingly perform at your side. Drag the observation date into row section. Drag the confirmed measure into the column section. That will build a typical bar or a line chart. If a line chart appears, just convert that into a bar. Click on Show Me tab and click on the bar graph. I'll get a bar graph here. You can see, participants, we got a bar graph which is showing the distribution of confirmed cases by 2020 and 2021. Make sure all participants are able to do the same thing. Follow the on-screen navigation carefully, students, so that you don't run into chaos. Do it slowly. The column section and row section are holding the dimension and measure. And we have transformed, we have built a bar graph visualization, right? Now, let's make the graph more knowledgeable. If you just check the years are shown, and let's format the year. Let's transform the data year. When I clicked on the drop down year, or that is observation date, when I click on drop down, participants, notice in the drop down, the observation date identified by Tableau as which type? Discrete type. I repeat, when you click on the drop down in the second visualization on year or observation date, notice Tableau identify this as discrete. But as an analyst, you want to study the number of confirmed COVID cases by exact date. that is date after date. Hence, in this case, you have to choose the option exact date. Where is it available? Once again, I am demonstrating. In the visualization, click on the row section measure here and please choose exact date. When I choose exact date, participants, notice after choosing exact date, Tableau now identifies the discrete data item as a continuous. So please click on exact date. Now you notice the visualization now gets transformed by date on y-axis and number of confirmed cases on x-axis. How did we do that? Once again, I am demonstrating. Just click on the drop down on year parameter and choose the command exact date. Exact date. Now, when I again click on the drop down, participants, notice observation. Rather than discrete, earlier it was identifying the observation data as discrete. Now it is considering the date parameter observation data as a continuous data item. Why? Because each date field day by day is a continuous measure. Once created this visualization, participants, because we would like to see the number of confirmed cases on y-axis and the observation data on x-axis, you can swap the view. How to swap the view? In your toolbar, in the standard toolbar of the Tableau, you have a button named Swap Rows and Columns, or you can use the shortcut key Control W. I repeat, once after building the visualization, instead of having confirmed cases on x-axis, let us show the confirmed case on y-axis and observation data on x-axis. So go to the swap button here where I'm hovering the mouse. Click on Swap Rows and Columns. So this is the nature of, this should be the nature of the visualization. Swap rows and columns. So now you can see the observation date is a continuous item. Month by month, how you are seeing the data from January 1st, 2020 till the spread of the data is till March 1st, 2021. So this is near 1 quarter data, that is 1 year followed by 1 quarter of 2021. Hope all of you could do it till here. Let me know. Swap the rows of and columns. Yes, good. Now, but this graph is very typical. When you hover the mouse, see the typical bars. All bars are overlapping because of the volume of the data. So let us reduce the size of the bars so that we can see the typical bars in the visualization. How to reduce the size? Take your mouse pointer on the size card, click on the size card, look at the width of the bar, the slider denoting the width of the bar. Just reduce the width of the bar, participants. Reduce the width of the bar by moving your mouse on the slider and keep it somewhere here. Yes. Now when you reduce the width of the bars, now you can see a typical bar graph appearing, denoting the number of confirmed cases over a time frame, that is the observation date, as a whole in the data set. So how did we do that? Just click on the size card. When you click on the size card, it denotes the slider. Drop the slider or reduce the slider bandwidth and keep it low as possible for differentiating those bars to see how the rising patterns of COVID cases over the time frame from January 1st, 2020 till March 1st, 2021. So refine the visualization, participants. Now, this is for confirmed cases. Typically, a data analyst would also be interested to explore what is the number of deaths. Similarly, what is the number of record cases? You cannot keep on building multiple visualizations and make your dashboard too complex. Like in the yesterday's term deposit banking case study, we almost built 6 to 7 visualizations, right? And we then included our relevant views into the dashboard. But you might ask me today, are there any advanced practices in Tableau with which, with simple animations and drill downs, you can tune your view? With one view, you can experience multiple insights? Then my answer is yes, there are practicalities. Tableau provides the features called parameters. Parameters are nothing but the variables that you have within your data set. You can define parameters customized parameters by extracting data patterns from the explanatory variables and also include some calculated fields within it. So the next step after these visual analysis of the total number of confirmed cases by observation date, let us now create a parameter. How to create a parameter? Watch and implement participants. On the data pane on the left side, where you can see your dimensions and measures, place your mouse pointer, right click on your menu or click your right mouse button, and notice in the pop-up dialog box, you have a option called create parameter. I repeat, why we are creating parameter? Once again, I'm briefing for your benefit. This visualization or the bar graph trend, what you're seeing is explaining us the spread of COVID confirmed cases by date or the time period. Similarly, you would also like to explore the number of deaths and number of recovery. Rather than building typical visualizations for deaths separately recover, let's add some parameters to the current visualization. So right click on the data pane in the empty space and you get the option create parameter. So click on create parameter. Can you all see the create parameter dialog box? Let me share it possibly. Okay, I think you all can see that, right? Is it visible, Shiva? Create parameter is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Fantastic, right. Now watch my advanced practices participants carefully and enjoy how to unleash Tableau's features correctly. Parameter. Do you think, as per your observations in the day-to-day human living world, in each geographical location, as you observe your daily news, are the number of COVID cases in each geographical location are varying or not? I mean, there is a daily change in the number of COVID cases in our own country, India, by state. Then imagine the amount of variance found in the number of COVID cases across the world, dear students and faculty, right? There is a tremendous variance exhibited. As an analyst, you should explore how the COVID cases are daily changing by geography or date, that is per day. For that, we are going to create parameters. First, define the data type of parameter. I am going to add 3 user-defined parameters. Hence, they are all string type. So please choose the data type of the user-defined parameters as string type. So change the default float data type to string, and allowable values, please choose the option list. Please choose the option list as the allowable values. Then add the list of parameters you are planning for the current project. Under the value column, click with your mouse and type the name of the first parameter as daily change. Daily change. The first parameter we are adding is daily change. Click on the right side. So Tableau would display it as like when you add this parameter to your visualization, this is how it appears, daily change. What does this parameter daily change means? Again, I'm telling how number of COVID cases, number of COVID deaths, number of COVID recovery cases would vary over a time period. We are building those parameters. Then the next parameter I'm adding is number of deaths. So you can type it as per your convenience, number of deaths. Check out how you are typing, participants, because we are going to use them in a calculation. Tableau allows you to do calculations using predefined functions. Like Excel has many functions, Tableau also has got rich inbuilt function library. Daily change is the first parameter. Number of deaths, you can take your own convention. Here I used a full stop, number full stop of deaths. So the display name will also be same. Similarly, as an analyst, we will also be interested in knowing the number recovered. So number full stop recovered. What is the number of COVID patients recoveries? What is the number of deaths? How the COVID cases are daily changing at certain geography? We are defining 3 parameters. These are the parameter values, 3 different parameter values that we have created. Now let's name the parameter. Rather than using the default name parameter 1, I am using the name as cases. Here I used a capital C. You can use a small c also. It is up to you. Cases. I am creating a parameter, user-defined parameter named cases with 3 values: daily change, number of deaths, number recovered. All participants, please create parameters like this with the list of values. Once the parameter is created, then we'll create a calculated field, then pull the calculated field into the visualization, right? Yes. We'll go a bit slow. There is a lot of time for us to learn how to build corporate, professional looking interactive dashboards. Once you learn the art and science of building the professional BI dashboards, you can scale all the learnings of these 5 days into the forthcoming, the data hackathon challenge by SmartBridge, and you can unleash the data into stunning visualizations and share them. Then after adding the parameter name as cases and the values correctly, simply click on OK. Now notice, participants, in the data pane, user created parameter named cases was added. User created parameter cases was successfully added to the current project. Now, what we are going to do with this, how can that parameters really impact the visualization? Let us add more value by creating a calculated field. How to create a calculated field? Again, in the data pane, in the empty section, right click, and in the pop-up menu, you notice one option is available for you called create calculated field. I repeat, after creating the cases parameter, right click in the empty pane, data pane, and choose create calculated field. When you click on create calculated field, a tiny pop-up dialog box named calculation appears in front of you. Can you all see the calculation dialog box, participants? Everybody is able to see? Right, good. So we are now learning some advanced best practices of Tableau, how to best tune the dashboards. Yesterday's practice was only a layman's learning, pulling the views, connecting them, and playing fun with the dashboard elements. But today's BI dashboard is a true appeal. Let's add some calculation. The name of the calculation, instead of default name calculation 1, I am taking it as cases measure. Cases measure. So as an analyst, you are measuring the cases summary by confirmed cases, deaths, and recovery. You all know computer science engineering students, faculty, and people from the IT specialization. You all have been learning your programming constructs like your conditional decision-making statements, looping statements. All such programming capability can be equipped into the Tableau, right? So you have a switch case structure representation in your conventional and object-oriented programming, right? Switch case, which allows you to compare a lot of cases and then accordingly pick a suitable case upon matching. Tableau also permits you to use a case structure. So how to use a case structure? Plug in the keyword case. Case is a function here, rather. So case, pick up the keyword case and start with a square bracket. What was the user created parameter name? Cases, right? I repeat, plug in the case function. All functions appear in uppercase in default. Just type a few letters, you will see a list of suitable function. So please select the function name case, then followed by a square bracket denoting the parameter name. Just type the parameter name CASCS. This is a user created text parameter. So click on cases. So if we are instructing Tableau, whenever you encounter the user created parameter cases, then you can use a keyword when. You can use the keyword when or when function. We have created 3 parameter value list. What is the first parameter, participants? If you recollect, if you want, you can go back to the parameter cases and you can click edit. Under the edit section, you can see what are parameter list values we created: daily change, number of deaths, and number recovered. I repeat, daily change is the first parameter value. Second parameter value is number of deaths. Third parameter is number recovered. Whenever Tableau encounters, put it in a double quotation, daily change. So this is the parameter value. Whenever daily change, then is the keyword again, then function. What shall we do? Then let the visualization show confirmed cases. So take the square bracket and choose confirmed. I repeat, we are building a case structure here, instructing Tableau. Whenever it was asked about daily change, whenever analyst asks Tableau about daily change, then it should display which cases in the visualization? Confirmed cases. Then the next case, when analyst wants to study about number of recovered is a parameter value that we have predefined under the parameter list. Then what should be displayed? The visualization should display deaths. So please choose the deaths here. Deaths is nothing but your measure, right? How the visualization should tune itself into a particular measure based on a parameter, we are just adding the calculated field. When the last one, that is whenever number of deaths. So here instead of number of recovered, you can just edit it here, a typo error here, number of deaths. Then the last one is number recovered participant. This is the, if you remember, this is the last value. Make sure you type the parameter names and the list of values correctly. Whenever number recovered, then Tableau should display what? Tableau should display the recovered cases. That's it. And finally, end the case structure. Make sure the calculation is valid without any typo errors. Check out how I have typed. Case is a function followed by user defined parameter. When is a function? Whenever Tableau is asked by the user about daily change, then it should display confirm cases. Whenever user asks about number of deaths, then it should display deaths. Whenever user asks about number of recovered cases, then Tableau should display recovered cases ended. Check out the typing. Make sure your calculation is valid, participants, before you apply the calculated field into your data visualization. If any typo error are there, you will get a red color error indicator that calculation is invalid. Don't panic. Check out the syntax, how I have typed, follow the exact on-screen illustration and make the calculation is valid. Very good. Done. So I'll wait for all participants, those who are doing hands-on, to include this case command correctly. Once those who have got the indicator calculation is valid, you can click apply, click OK. Once you have got the indicator as calculation is valid, participants, you can click apply, click OK. Very good. So nice of your coherence that you are maintaining parallelly with my on-screen. Wonderful, participants. Click apply, click OK. Now notice in the list of measures, user created calculated field named cases measure appears. Cases measure appears. Now the next step is we should show this measure on the visualization. Actually, this is a parameter with a list of calculated values. To show this parameter on the visualization, participants, the next typical step is click on the cases under parameter. Under parameter section, click on the cases. When you click on the cases in the pop-up menu, you will get an option show parameter. You will get an option show parameter. I repeat, after adding the cases measure to the list, click on cases and go to show parameter. When you click on show parameter, observe to the right side of the visualization, your so-called created parameter list of values are appearing as a drop down. This is called calculated field. How you are going to impact on this? Have you all applied the parameter onto your visualization, participants, correctly? Let me know. Very good. So nice. So click on cases, show parameter. In some cases, it will show item as show parameter control. In some of the Tableau versions, you get the name as show parameter control, or simply you will get show parameter. That's it. Now, what we are going to do with this parameter, let's see the action. Daily change. When I click on daily change, or when I click on number of deaths, when I click on number recovered, nothing is happening to visualization, participants. Test it on your side also. when you click on the drop down and select any parameter value, the visualization is not changing. Why? Because we didn't add that calculated field, right? If you want, you can notice that action. There is no change. But if you want to see the reflection of the change in the row section or in the row shelf in the current visualization on screen, Tableau is displaying total number of confirmed cases. That is, sum of confirmed cases is being displayed. So rather than showing the sum of confirmed cases, let us override this by dragging cases measure. All participants are requested to drag the field named cases measure and drop it into the row section. Now you are revising your visualization. Rather than seeing only the confirmed cases, you can see cases measures. Whenever I call cases measure participants, what are the different cases measures? Daily change, number of deaths, and number recovered. Do this activity. Drag and drop cases measure and drop it in the row shelf. Now the previous measure is overridden by total number of cases measure. Now you can see the interaction effect when you click on daily change to number of deaths. Check out, your visualizations are now changing according to the number of deaths. No need to create multiple visualization participants. Within one visualization, you can add calculated fields and you can show their impact on the visualization. Now this is the number recovered. Make sure all participants could generate such kind of dynamic dashboard view, right? So what we did till here, for the benefit of participants, I'm briefing again. We just built one bar graph measuring the relationship between observation date and confirmed cases. But if the analyst wants to also learn the patterns of COVID cases by deaths or observation date, by recovered or observation date, rather than building multiple views of the visualization, you can tune your visualizations by adding user-defined parameters and user-defined measures, and then integrate them using a calculated field. And now you can attach this to your map view, what you have built. So how many sheets we have, participants? 2 sheets. Sheet 1 was actually a map view showing distribution of COVID patterns by country region, where sheet 2 is a custom bar graph, which is including a calculated field denoting different measures over observation date. Let's interconnect these two and present them professionally on a Tableau dashboard. So after building 2 different sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2, let's create the dashboard quickly for the COVID-19 World Health Organization data set in the project. You all know how to create a new dashboard, right? In the status bar, click on the new dashboard button. Now you are in my dashboard. Can you all see my dashboard canvas? Everybody? Can you all see my dashboard canvas? Great. For participants who are having technical doubts regarding the calculated field, what we did was we just created a parameter, we just created a measure named cases measure, and then we dragged the cases measure and dropped it into the rows shelf. Then once dropped, now the parameter, user defined parameter becomes interactive. You can switch over the parameter list like number of deaths and number recovered, and the visualization tunes itself accordingly to the user created parameter. With the parameterization at place, now we are ready to include them in the dashboard. Currently, we have 2 sheets participants, namely sheet 1 and sheet 2 under the sheets pane. Okay, let's drag sheet 1 into the dashboard, which is a plain map-based visualization showing COVID cases by geographical location. All participants are requested to drag the worksheet named sheet 1 or whatever name if you have given possibly at your side. Drag the first sheet, that is map-based visualization for COVID-19 by geography. Then also drag sheet 2 and lay it down, position it on a landscape below sheet 2. I mean below sheet 1, sorry. Lay it down below sheet 1. Now you are seeing, because of the desktop browser size, you are once again seeing the bar graph as a more or less like a curve. To get the best preview, change your size. Default desktop browser size, change it to an auto size. If you want, you can drop down and choose generic desktop. Now you can see the spikes in the bar graph. By default, when you pull the sheets participants, you will get a simple curve-like structure. Don't worry. Click on the fixed size and change from desktop browser to a generic desktop size. Or you can go to full screen, but later we'll go to full screen. Choose generic desktop. That's a max size view. Now you can see a series of spikes in the bar graph illustrating the COVID measure cases in the given time period under study. Could you all build the dashboard and now customize it, participants? Let me know. Yes, you're right, Sai Sindhu. This is the thing. Nice for sharing in the chat for the benefit of participants. Good. Nice coherence and synchronization by the teammates. Now, as a typical data analyst, to bring out the insight meaning of sheet 1 to sheet 2, our next step in the project is when a user clicks on a particular country, although the tooltip is briefing the number of confirmed, death, and recovered, it would add more value if we can connect the both sheets inherently. Like recollect your yesterday's activity where we connected the pivots, the pivot charts or the visualizations before presenting them in dashboard, so that a click of a mouse on a particular geographical location will filter accordingly in sheet 2. I repeat, when user clicks, selects or hovers the mouse in sheet 1 by a geographical location or country, accordingly the dashboard should display the COVID cases measures. How to do this? Now you are in the current dashboard view, right? Then under your dashboard menu, if you click on dashboard tab or menu, participants, in the drop down, you have one option available called actions. Let us customize the dashboard to display number of COVID-19 cases measures according to the geographical location. So for this, we have to click on dashboard, choose actions. Hope you all can see the actions pop up on my screen. Is it visible, participants? Actions pop-up dialog box is visible, I hope.
Yes.
Let's add user-defined actions. Actions are into different types. When you click on add action button, participants, what are the actions you can add? You can add a default filter or a highlight, or you can instruct Tableau dashboard to navigate to a particular web URL or a particular worksheet or a parameter or a set value. In this case, my requirement is very simple, where I want to add a filter for sheet 1 to sheet 2 and vice versa. So the add action is choose filter as your action. Now Tableau displays add filter action dialog box. Leave the name of the filter, filter 1 default, or you can create your own name. But what you want to filter? Tableau displays source sheet and target sheets. Source sheet is nothing but your map visualization, which is in sheet 1. And target sheet is your bar graph, which you people have created in sheet 2. Hence, keep the source sheet as only sheet 1, uncheck sheet 2, or deselect sheet 2. Your source sheet is sheet 1 map visualization, and in your target sheet is your bar graph, which is in sheet 2. So uncheck sheet 1 here. It's very simple. Like we did yesterday, from going to a particular visualization and choosing selected worksheets only. Apply to selected worksheets was the option, but that is very typical thing, because if you have a amplitude of worksheets, to connect one over the other, you need to walk through each sheet and connect. Rather, Tableau gives you actions to connect each sheet based on the predefined action like filtering or highlighting. Make sure that your source sheet is sheet 1 and your target sheet is sheet 2, participants. Do this customization in the add filter action dialog box and choose the action how you want to do the filtering. There are 3 types of run action. Like you can use a simple mouse hover or mouse click, that is select, or mouse menu. So here we will go with the select command click on the select button as your action. Whenever user places the mouse pointer and selects a geographical location, that is country, accordingly the target sheet, that is bar graph, should change in relation to the sheet 1. So select sheet 1 as your sheet, sheet 2 as target sheet participants, and choose the action as select. You can alternately choose mouse hover, but rather let us choose select typically. Then click OK button, and once again click OK. Once again click OK. Now your dashboard is pretty ready for presentation, where you are going to present the number of COVID-19 distribution, pandemic distribution by geographical location and over different measures. Hope all of you could add filter actions correctly as said. Okay, Harshini, I'm repeating again. Check out now. After adding the two sheets to the dashboard view, in order to define interaction between the sheets or to build an interactive dashboard, navigate to the dashboard menu or the tab. In the dashboard tab drop down, you have a command called actions command. Click the actions command. This will launch actions dialog box for you. Tableau provides a list of actions to be added to make the dashboard more dynamic or interactive. So when you click on add action button, you are given an opportunity to define your action as a filter or a highlight or others. In this section, add a filter as your action. When you click filter, right, you are navigating to the add filter action dialog box. By default, in the add filter action, Tableau identifies what is the source sheet, what is the dependent or target sheet or sheets. Source sheet is sheet 1, as you can see, sheet 1 in the background. Sheet 1 is typically your map visualization that you created in the first step. So please make sure that source sheet is understood by Tableau as sheet 1. So uncheck sheet 2. Uncheck sheet 2. And in the target sheet, what is meant by target sheet? Target sheet is the dependent sheet usually, or typically sheet 2 here, which is the bar graph or the collection of spikes in the bar graph depicting the spread of measures like confirmed, death, and recovered in the given time period. So make sure that the target sheet is sheet 2. So uncheck sheet 1. Simply it is vice versa. Sheet 1 is your source, sheet 2 is target. After mentioning these parameters or inputs, decide the action, how you want to display your dashboard. Just click on the run action. Under run action section, either you can choose hover or select our menu. For the project, please click on select. Please click on select and leave the defaults as it is. Once mentioning the inputs to the filter action and the run action, just click on OK and then click on OK. So this is how the dashboard customization is possible. Okay, done. Very good. Now all is set to go on a fly finally. So present the dashboard using your presentation view participants. So on the toolbar, you have the presentation mode or F7 button on your keyboard. Present your beautiful COVID-19 analysis visualization grandeur dashboard. Now, this is the number of cases globally, geographically. Now, if you click on the drop down number of deaths, when I click on number of deaths, see your dependent sheet tuning accordingly, interacting accordingly to my calculated field, number recovered, right? But if you want to study the distribution by geography, you can do the run action. What was the run action? Let's click on India participants and see how it is going to affect the dashboard. I am clicking on India map. Now, when I click on India, notice the pattern of COVID pandemic in the given period from February 1st to February 1st, 21. COVID was realized, experienced by people in India. Other countries are dimmed, that is, they are filtered. Now, this is the daily change of COVID-19 scenario in India. Now, click on the drop down, study the number of deaths in the Indian country. Now, click on number of deaths. The spikes seem to be similar, more or less in India. Click on the drop down, number recovered. Now, number recovered is reducing, right? In India, confirmed cases are more, while the number of recovered cases are less. This is the typical knowledge insight this dashboard is presenting on the COVID-19 data. Now, in order to filter out the visualization, if India, just click elsewhere or outside of the dashboard and you can get back your original world map. Just click anywhere outside of the dashboard, you'll get. Now, if you're interested to study COVID-19 analysis on US, just click on the US region in the world map. Now check out how it is getting tuned. This is the picture of COVID-19 in the US. Now drill down, or you can start with the daily change. Look at the daily change. How are COVID cases daily changing at US participants? COVID experience actually realized in United States typically from between the 1st of the March and then started rapidly growing, and currently in March 1st 2021, as per the data stats, US is experiencing a lot of COVID cases growing. Now you might be more interested to study as an analyst what is the number of deaths at US. So click on number of deaths at US. Now see the horrifying reality. Our number of deaths at US due to COVID are more or less when compared to India. What do you say, participants? When you click the number of deaths parameter item at US selected region, typically more number of deaths are taking place at US when compared to India. This is how a professional business intelligence dashboard can address volume and variety of data on the typical COVID scenario. Then number of deaths and number recovered. Click on number recovered. What is your interpretation on number recovered in US? Is it that great, or is it still a challenge in US because of the terrific impact of COVID and the continental impact and regional impact? And then try to see how the presence of COVID recovery still has to be improved in the United States. Likewise, you can explore by other geographies. It's all up to your capabilities of exploration, participants. Let me go to Russia here. Let's study about Russia in the world map. Click on Russia. Click on Russia. This is about the daily change. Tune the parameter. Daily cases, how Russian are experiencing till date. You can see how the x-axis observation date is auto-adjusting itself according to the inputs fed to the dashboard. Then, what is your comment on the Russia? How is the spread of COVID daily changing in Russia? Typically, more or less, the impact of COVID has found its great roots in all the countries globally, as given in the data set by WHO. That terrific impact was observed in the year ending from August to December, and it is still growing. There is no endpoint found in the growing cases of COVID, more or less in all geographies. If you want to inspect the number of deaths, participants, in Russia, the number of deaths seeming to be less when compared to number of cases, as the spikes are stalling down at Russia. But surprisingly, from December till February, the first quarter of the 2021 year is now horrifying Russia. Have you heard recent news on the Russian today's update? Navalny is going to die at any time, right? Opposition leader at Russia, dear participants, as per today's update, he is going to die at any moment, right? So that's what Russia is typically suffering from, this sudden strike of COVID. Now see the number recovered at Russia. Not much difference in case of recovery. So recovery is still experiencing a challenge. By fortune or luck of time, the number of deaths are now being attributed by number of recovery due to the vaccination. Likewise, participants, you can explore knowledge discovery from the database given to you through these data mining practices of Tableau with this interactive dashboard, right? Hope all of you enjoyed this presentation on COVID-19 analysis through visual practices and visual instruction on Tableau. Any technical queries, you can keep it at the end regarding the project experience or the knowledge management. Now we are at the juncture of moving on how to share this to a community. Till all these 5 days, you're all being given a flavor, an experience, an awareness regarding the visual analytics environment using Tableau product, several hands-on experiences in understanding the ecosystem of Tableau, and application in the industrial segment space in different industries, right from banking to a manufacturing segment to a generic approach of applying visual analytics. Thus, if I ask you all, with your 5-day journey on this visual grandeur experience with Tableau, can any volume and variety of data in real world can be converted into a simple visualization and a custom visualization? What do you say, participants? Can your journey of this visual practical experience with the Tableau on real world problem statements enriched, empowered, enlightened you all and brings you that confidence and courage to go further ahead in the journey, in the challenge? Pick up your problem statement, boys and girls, dear faculty friends. Unleash the power of these implementations. Drill down, slice down whatever you want, utilize all the fun and generate that knowledge. Now the leftover part in the journey finally is, can we share this to the entire world? Can a plethora of learners awaiting in the global IT economy can really see you all have a Gmail account, you all have your own personal social media accounts, dear friends. Let me ask you all, do you all have a knowledge profile built for you till date? This is a surprising question. What is meant by knowledge profile? Knowledge profile is let the world know that the participants who have taken part in the journey here in the project experience are capable enough to address and answer at the same time. If given an opportunity with a data driven culture of any organization, you can transform that data into knowledge insights with this rich experience, right? Yes, so let's continue our journey on this wonderful journey of bootcamp, finally converging at how to present this to a community of knowledge users. Let's go ahead back and understand the phenomenal Tableau Public. Let me share my presentation at this point. Can you all see my presentation again? PPT is visible to all of you? Right. Presenting to you all the final ingredient of the bootcamp, Tableau Public. Now, with communication scaling via the internet capabilities across the world, globally and locally, can knowledge insights created by community intellectual be also shared? Tableau answered this question by introducing yet another smart product in their community or Tableau suite called Tableau Public. Typically defining, Tableau Public is yet another application program that allows us all users to create not only on-premise data visualizations in Tableau, but also to share those visualizations across the web. That's why Tableau Public is web-based data visualization tool. But remember, friends, all these journey you all accomplish without writing a single line of code. Do you agree? Without any programming, except for a few calculations that we did today, all are accomplished with a click of a mouse. So let's, without further ado, enjoy the richness of sharing those great visualizations, stunning visualizations onto the community. But before I go, let me brief you all how to get started with Tableau Public. As shared by the support team, Team SmartBridge, I hope all participants have been already registered your accounts with Tableau Public. If somebody is not done else, visit the web URL public.tableau.com and sign up there with your username, typically your mail ID, and your password that you are planning to use in the future. Once registered on the sign up page, participants on the public.tableau.com, Tableau Public will send a verification email to you all asking you to complete your identity. Get your digital identity, digital profile on Tableau Public without any further delay and then start using it. Alternatively, you can also download the Tableau Public free edition or a personal or a professional edition based on the size of the organization. If you're an individual, go with Tableau Public. If you're a small scale or a medium scale, go with Tableau Personal. But if you're an enterprise planning to unleash the power of visual analytics, go for a professional edition for the free trial with 4-day and then license versions. Now, what we are going to do with the Tableau Public? After all, creating stunning dashboards and stories with visualization should not end meagerly on an on-premise. Let this be shared, published, and distributed, and the insights of knowledge be made available open transparently to multiple users. That's why publishing is the final job that we are left over. But before publishing, the checklist, what I'm going to give all record. The checklist is start your publishing activity prior to publishing. Start identifying your data set, collect your data, connect your data to Tableau tool, then identify suitable queries upon which you are planning to build your visualizations or any kind of views or worksheets. Integrate them into an interactive dashboard to give more insights effectively, or a superb story, weave a superb story around. Then finally, share, distribute, and publish all these views, visualizations, dashboards, and stunning stories onto the public forum using Tableau Public. So let's do that. But before I go, let me share you all with a view of Tableau Public. Permit me zoom to open a browser here. Let me just open a typical browser here. Another one. Yes. Let me share an empty browser. Can you all see my browser, participants?
Yes. Yes.
I'm opening public.tableau.com. Tableau.com. This is the web space for public.tableau.com. At this point, you have a sign up button. When you click sign up, participants, you can create a profile here with your required username that you want the knowledge community to view you, identify you. Enter your valid email ID, whatever you want. Enter your password of your choice, confirm it, and accept the legal conditions. Once done, you'll get a verification mail, verify your profile, and that's all where you can get started with Tableau Public. Right. Now, let me choose the sign in here. I'll just choose the sign in because I have already registered my profile. Hope all participants registered. Click on sign in, participants. Now you'll get a Tableau Public login in front of you. Enter your credentials, that your mail ID that you want, and sign in with your password that you all have used at your registration. On the Tableau Public sign in, enter your user ID as your email and your password and click sign in. My God. Yes. Training for MLAI. Yes. Now I'm able to sign in to my Tableau Public, and here I go. This is my digital visual profile, knowledge profile. I have created 2 visualizations added to them. But when you log in as a first time Tableau Public user, on the stats section, you see 0 visits. Nothing was added by you. You are just entrant, ready to use your Tableau Public. Can you all see my Tableau Public profile, my name, and how people can identify me? The 2 visualizations I've had it before for a quick demonstration, a workbook and a sample view. But for in your case, there will not be any visits that you're added, just 0 visits because you just started today on. Right. Now, how can I bring my dashboards and stories into the Tableau Public forum? For that, you have to go back to your Tableau platform again. So switch over to Tableau, participants. If you want to add the COVID dashboard that we created just now, that is currently book 2. Currently, I'm in book 2. Or if you want to add the yesterday's term deposit banking dashboard, whatever is your choice, I am preferring to add the COVID-19 dashboard that we have developed today. So leave the defaults, that is keep the daily change and keep the world map view and the bar graphs files. How to add it? Let us see. Hope you all can see my current dashboard, COVID-19 dashboard view. Now, in the menu bar, you have a tab named server. Checkout participants, you have a tab named server. In your Tableau menu bar, you have a server. From the server, under the drop down, you have a connectivity Tableau Public. Even you can publish your workbooks onto Tableau Online also. Tableau Online is yet another server which is running, whereas Tableau Public is a free version of Tableau Server Cloud. I repeat, Tableau Public is a free version for visual analysts to publish their work on the Tableau Online Server Cloud, running on the cloud, dedicated cloud. So choose Tableau Public, and in the cascading menu, participants, one option is there for you all available. Save to Tableau Public. Save to Tableau Public. Click on server, Tableau Public. This is the navigation, save to Tableau. But before saving to Tableau Public, one basic information I would like to share. Make sure whatever you are publishing, it should be ethical, informative, and intellectual property. It should be ethically correct, informative knowledge base, and an intellectual data item. Then only you should release that data item public, because other users in the knowledge community are going to watch you publicly. So that's why when you click save to Tableau Public, participants, Tableau asks sign in with your credential. Tableau is asking, let me verify your digital identity before I actually release it to the public community. Once again, sign in with your registered credential. Training for mlia@gmail.com, and my credential I am revealing onto the Tableau Public. Most publishing activity from Tableau will throw you an error initially like this. Check out if you want, you will get up this error. Why? Because Tableau server, which you are going to publish your work, will not initially permit external data to be published. Then how to connect this? Tableau recommends you to create a data extract. Once you create a data extract denoted by the hyper extension in Tableau, then you can extract the entire data in a hyper format, including your raw data, your so-called visualization that you develop. Then only the activity will be published into the Tableau Public. Hope you all got this typical Tableau server error. Everybody got this, right? Check out. Yeah. Whatever you have registered, participants, please make sure you enter valid credentials so that you don't get any error. That's why check first before connecting to Tableau Public from Tableau. Go to public.tableau.com, log in. If you are getting your profile displayed, means your profile is activated. If you're logging in and you are getting error, that means you didn't verify your profile. If some of you are getting error, don't worry, participants. Tableau Public will send an email to your registered mail ID. First, you have to open your registered mail ID and then click on verify now. Then only your profile is verified. Then only you can access Tableau Public. Shivam, put up a message in the chat advising participants to go to their respective mail and verify the Tableau Public emailer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, backup. Yes. Then now on screen, Tableau is advising me, dear user, please create a data extract before you publish your work. Now, what is this data extract? Let us see. I'm clicking OK in the pop-up. To create a data extract, participants, go to your data menu or the data tab, and currently we are working with COVID-19 data set. Currently the project today discussed is COVID-19 data, and in the cascading menu you can notice one option is there, extract data. Extract data. Extract data is nothing but in a hyper format you are extracting all your connected data objects, your visual worksheet views, and the created dashboards and stories if any. Extract a copy, hyper copy of the data. So how I activated it? Click the data tab or data menu, go to COVID-19 data. Under the cascade, dear users, please choose extract data command. When you click extract data, your extract data dialog box appears. Now Tableau is asking, I'll extract the logical activity that you have performed in a hyper format, because physical tables consume a lot of memory before uploading, publishing. The community wants to share the storage cloud space effectively. So they prefer a logical format of your work. So in the extract data, typically click on extract button. Now save extract as dialog box appears, participants. Once you click extract button, save extract as dialog box appears. Leave the default dataset name, but look at the file extension. The file extension is Tableau data extract, denoted by the file extension hyper. Simply click save. Once you click save, now Tableau starts understanding that you are planning to put the hyper object on your Tableau public. Now the publishing activity starts in the background. This will take few seconds to minutes based on your internet speed. So click on data menu, choose COVID-19 data, and in the cascading menu, choose extract data. In the extract data dialog box, choose extract button, and then once extract data button is done, your hyper format of the data is done. Now go to server menu again, or server tab. Go to the server tab again, and then choose, then choose public. So let this pop-up go. Yes, server, Tableau Public, and choose save to Tableau Public. Without extracting data, Tableau is not permitting you to publish. Of course, some versions would, of course, without extract also permit you, but creating the extract is a prerequisite. Save to Tableau Public. Now notice Tableau is asking, do you want your entire work, whatever you have done in the workbook named book 2, because my current workbook is named book 2. Do you want to be publicized, available on Tableau Public website? Make sure that that information, whatever worksheets, dashboards, isn't contain any private information or confidential. My workbook doesn't contain any private or confidential, rather it contains valuable knowledge, insights regarding the COVID. So simply click save button and relax. Now you can see, participants, the processing request. Tableau application is sending all your activity data to your Tableau public server or Tableau online server. Saving your entire workbook to Tableau Public, publishing your views, your queries, your dashboards, if any, stories, and view layout. What was the last view layout? Default view layout we have used. If you want to send a phone view layout or an internet tablet view layout, like the device designer we worked yesterday, you can send, and notice all your work being published in your web-based Tableau Public. Once published, all data goes public, and the forum of Tableau users can view your work community. You can proudly share the Tableau Public URL on a social forum, on an email, on a Facebook, Twitter, any media, and let people know about your visual analytics profile existing via Tableau. That's it. Tableau application pumped in via the pipeline to the Tableau web-based engine. Thus, we got our dashboard evident on Tableau Public, created by the user, and is available to the community to utilize. Can you all see my Tableau Public dashboard, participants? Everybody? Can you all see that? Good, great. Hope all of you also achieved this on your side, those who are following the hands-on navigation. Great. Now all is well. What you can do the same thing, right? Click on your country, India, or any country of your choice, participants. Make the selection based on internet speed. The reflections happen. Click on your country. Yes. Visualizing live Tableau dashboard for COVID-19 analysis by daily change, number of deaths, and number recovered in India. It's all fun with Tableau dashboards going live on the web chapter Tableau Public. Web chapter Tableau Public. Now, if you want to drill down further your items, you can click anywhere, return back, go to yes, click on the selection, required country or region. Then explore more possible patterns of COVID in the selected geography, that is US. Daily change depending on internet speed, computer configuration, reflections take place. Because you're in a live Zoom meeting as well as on the parallel web, your internet bandwidth as well as computer memory both are at a strain. So the reflections take a bit more time, seconds to minutes, to see the refreshed view. Right? Hope all of you are viewing the live dashboard, dynamic interactive dashboard of COVID. Number of deaths at US participants, you can see. This is the spread of COVID on the given time frame under study, whereas the parameter being evaluated is number of deaths, number recovered. True BI interactive dashboard live on Tableau Public. Right, great. Now, if you want, you can also add the retail banking dashboard to your Tableau Public profile that we created yesterday. Let us see that also. Hope all of you understood till here greatly. So select your country by region, experience the power of visual analytics with dashboards on the COVID-19 on your Tableau Public. You can customize these by adding more details, like edit details option is visible because we just pulled out the raw sheets without naming them. For your information, participants, when you click on edit details link in Tableau Public, from the Tableau Web Public, also as a logged in user, as a validated user, you can still make additions or you can do the editing possibly on the web. But recommended is use your Tableau desktop on-premise platform, build all the knowledge property, visual intellectual property, then upload it for the community to share. Okay. So on-premise knowledge building is recommended rather than editing, because typically editing on the web might require high solid bandwidth internet and might be sometimes time consuming like this. Have you all understood today's project experience? Everybody? All of you could understood how we just escalated our knowledge curve exponentially from day one, from the expert tech talk leaders speeches from the Tableau community across from the public sector to the corporate sector, and exclusive journey hosted by SmartBridge in collaboration with Tableau, and initial glimpses of Tableau's experience with the platform and with the application part, right? Okay. Let us also do the same activity for the retail banking dashboard, and also on request of some of participants, because of the time minutes available, let us also learn some modeling so that that will complete an end-to-end knowledge cycle. So go back to your Tableau and pick up your banking dashboard. Here I am. Can you all see my banking project again? Everybody? Shivam, is it visible?
Yes, it is visual.
Yeah, fine. We have added a storyline also. You can share entire workbook of the views or a particular item or a story. Without any ados, let's add this wonderful Tableau retail banking deposit knowledge base to our public. So let's go to the server. The navigation is same. Go to Tableau Public, save to Tableau Public. So this will again ask us to create an extract possibly, or ask us to sign in. Each knowledge insight you are uploading demands you to verify your credential. Don't imagine that you have already logged in. Yes, on a community you logged in as a user for editing or viewing, but when you are connecting the on-premise data platform Tableau desktop to Tableau Public, Tableau will verify your credential, your identity. So once again, I am doing the same process for the benefit of participants. Plug in my password. Establishing a pipeline for knowledge exchange between Tableau desktop and web-based Tableau Public. So it asks us to create the data extract. So let's create the data extract. Go to data. Current data set being used is bank.csv for the retail banking project, and create extract data. Create the hyper format of the data extract. Once extracted onto your location of your choice, then continue the process. Go to the server, Tableau Public, save to Tableau Public now. Now the hyper extract with the existing views, worksheets, dashboards, everything are being published to your Tableau Public profile. Process is same. Understanding an IT, operational IT, end to end is what being demonstrated in the bootcamp. I hope you all can see the story point, the current view which was added or live onto the web Tableau Public. Now you can navigate on the story. Users who are already on the Tableau community can actually see this when you publish it. Typically, you can also share the URL of your dashboard or a story point that you have published and put it on your social channels from a simple email to a family of social handles. So how to do that? I just take the URL here, copy it. You can see the URL selected and copied of the dashboard created by the Tableau Public profile user. Your name appears there. And if you want to share it to a community, I'll just open my Chrome browser here. Let me add another web browser URL. Yes, let me just check out here. I can add another tab. Let me close this profile, add it here. Can you all see my new browser? I just pasted the URL, participants, launch it. That's it. Your published activity on your dashboard profile is now visible. Can you all see now the story points that we have built? The URL was copied and shared across the communities, either on Tableau Public as well as on any different internet platform. Right? Hope all of you understood the extraordinary journey of building BI dashboards with Tableau. Now, leftover on request in the time space given, I am considering the modeling activity requested by our participants, few participants. For this, I am going back to my Tableau analytical store or platform. Currently, I am in my retail banking project workbook. I'm adding a new sheet, participants, here. I'm building one model, a clustering model. Typically, I'm building on your request for the bank database. But before building any model, be it predictive or descriptive, a prerequisite that all data analysts or data researchers must consider or take into consideration is identify the target, what you are going to analyze. Basically, analytical learning is categorized into supervised and unsupervised, as most of you know. While supervised analytical learning encompasses a list of explanatory variables and their impact on a target, whereas an unsupervised learning essentially does not include a target. There is a combo of data with explanatory parameters from which you have to dig out patterns by finding natural groupings among data. Technically, analytics or machine learning calls this mechanism as clustering. Clustering is finding essential groups of data with similar characteristics. Let us do that today. But how to do that? I would like to know how customers of term deposit in the retail bank can be segmented, clustered, unsupervised manner based on a different measure or a dimension. So I am picking the age group calculated field into the columns. Like yesterday, if you see, we have created the age group group, user created group. I am putting in the column shelf and the target variable deposit into the row shelf. Target variable deposit into the row shelf. Now, the nature of deposit, that is whether people respond either yes or no, I am putting it into the color. If you can see, this is the color. And if you want, you can put into labels also. So please take a fresh sheet, students, faculty, friends, everybody, and then try to build a model today to understand how Tableau can segment all the deposit buyer nature based on the age group. You can later build multiple models with different dimensions and measures against the target as per your choice. But typically remember, the target variable or the response variable deposit, is it a continuous variable or a categorical variable? Does it represent numeric discrete measures, or is it a categorical? It is a categorical variable, right? So based on the response variable nature, suitable algorithm has to be identified by the analyst or the BI expert. So here we go, either for a classification or a clustering analysis. So this is the initial view of my data. In order to, this is a cross tab because both data items are categories. Tableau shows a cross tab summary. But let us build some suitable visualization for this. On the Show Me tab, let me just refine the view initially. Yes. Deposit, I will just put into text. We come back again. The deposits we are going to churn by rows. The age group we are going to work out by these things. Let's put the ages or the deposits by text label or the deposits by color, or we'll take a measure. Let's take a measure. Yes, this works out. You can go with the total ages here, and you can drill down and you can change the aggregation count of deposits. Choose a count of deposits. Yes. And you can also choose a count of ages. This is a continuous measure. If you want, you can choose the total age or count of ages. So you can plot a scatter plot between two numerical quantities. So let me change this into a measure for a better view. Yes. Let's take a circular graph, and this is how the distinction of deposit buyer by age has been modeled visually by Tableau. Now go to your analytics section once you built it, and in the analytics under model section participants, you can build different models like trend line model. If your outcome or target variable response variable is a continuous variable, I mean, if it is a numeric variable, go for a trend line analysis or a forecasting model. Typically, a forecasting model is a regression analysis in Tableau. That is how explanatory variables affect the outcome when the outcome is identified by analytical tool as a continuous measure. But currently, in the project of retail banking, term deposit buyer analysis, as you all know, the deposit target variable is a categorical variable. That is, it is a class variable. Typically, to say it is a class variable. Hence, we can do the unsupervised clustering analysis segmentation. So pick up the clustering algorithm, drag it and drop it onto the worksheet view. You see a clustering, k-means default, k-means clustering algorithm is applied by Tableau. So when you drag the cluster algorithm and drop it, once again, check out what we are doing. Drag the cluster, default Tableau runs k-means cluster algorithm, drop it on k-means. You can see the algorithm k-means. Tableau is asking, I am going to segment all the depositors based on their ages, total ages. Now, number of clusters. Here, initially, k-means algorithm starts by clustering the data by default into 2 clusters. because two groups. You can specify default number of clusters, or you can go with custom defined clusters, 3 clusters or 4 or 5. But what is that magical figure of clusters? I'll explain to you all. Initially, imagine I'm starting with 5 clusters. You all can take 5 to start. And when mentioned 5 clusters, simply click on the close the clusters pop-up dialog box. Data should be divided into 5 different clusters, but based on the view that we took, it was not clustering. Let me go to the raw data again. I would like to also segment by education. If you want, let us segment by education deposit. Okay, and put the education next label. Yes. Or you can choose the count of deposit. That would be better. That would build a graph. Yes, this is correct. I revise again. Let us explore or categorize the customers by education level and count of deposits. So for this, what we did, drag your education parameter into column shelf, deposit parameter into row shelf, and then choose the aggregation as count function on deposit. This generates a bar graph participants. Then you can choose a cluster scattered here, circle scatter here, graph. And now you can go to your analytics tab and choose your cluster algorithm and drop it there. Now you can see Tableau is asking us, I am going to use the deposit count aggregate as the variable as the basis for clustering. Please specify the number of clusters. I choose 5 clusters default. Now notice how many clusters are created, participants. Cluster 1, cluster 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? Let us study. I am placing my mouse pointer somewhere on this one. What does this represent? Check out. This is cluster 5, comprising of illiterates as the education, and the number of deposits, count of deposits is 18. But we don't know whether they actually said yes or no. That bifurcation you can also add. I once again brief it. After adding your k-means cluster algorithm to your visualization, Tableau segmented all your observations in the raw data into the said number of clusters, 5 clusters. To understand the segmentation process, hover your mouse on each cluster, you'll get a tooltip. Now this is cluster 1, whose education is unknown, while the count of deposits by them is 1017.31. Now look at this cluster 2. Cluster 2 is a collection of all those customers whose education is basic 4-year with total number of deposits, including yes and no responses, attribute to 4,000 records. Now, typically, this kind of modeling, do you think participants will help you to understand how raw data can not only be visualized or presented in a dashboard, can also be understood internally in depth? Right? I repeat, with models like trend line model, forecasting regression model, clustering analysis models allows a data analyst to explore the inherent patterns, while a forecast model learns the patterns from the past and also allows you to predict for the future. If you want, you can build a forecast model on your Superstore data set. Why? Because in your Superstore data set, what is the target data item that you have learned? Profits and sales are 2 targets, participants. Yes, profits and targets. I mean, sales are your 2 targets, which are numerical in nature. Whenever your output variable or response variable is numerical in nature, you can apply trend line analysis to know the seasonalities and trends, or forecast model to forecast what is going to be the future sales and future profits based on the past patterns. Because in the current scenario of the banking project, as the outcome is class variable, we used a clustering, that is a segmentation. Typically speaking, unsupervised classification is clustering, supervised segmentation is classification. Both of them resemble same thing, except classification is achieved with a target variable and clustering is done without any target, that is unsupervised. Now, once the activity is carried, that's not the end of the job, participants, because you should ask me whether this is the best model of clustering or should we improve the model? Let us see. In order to do so, let us go to the model summary. So click on the clusters item in the marks card and go to the option describe clusters. Now you can see, especially faculty friends aspiring to do analytical research and including research insights for getting their papers published in top tier journals, please understand the model summary and model interpretation also. Student friends, this might be new for you all, or it is imperative for you to determine whether the so-called model created just now, clustering model, is it a valid model? Is it evaluated and can be deployed? Let us see. Can you all see my describe clusters summary on screen? Is it visible for you all? Yes, great. Now let us evaluate and discuss the inputs used for clustering. What are all the variables used for clustering, participants? We used the variable basically called count of deposit, right? Count of deposit. And the granularity or the micro level of data exploration was carried using one of the explanatory variables called education. Tableau actually clustered the data in the background using this one explanatory variable called education. If you want, you can add more parameters to your model. This is called hyperparameter optimization in machine learning or analytical data science. What is hyperparameter optimization? If you want to strengthen the model and if you want to assure that the model has correctly clustered the data, add more level of detail by adding more inputs to the columns or row section. Now coming to the scaling, what is normalized? Normalized refers to addressing data cleansing, because raw data, if you see, the raw data given under each field are randomly spread or spread uncertain. Normalization is a data pre-processing technique, dear friends, which will put the data in a certain format. Let's understand a bit of this normalization because of the time space. I'm opening my notepad. This will open a notepad app for me. Let me throw light on the basics of normalization in the time space. Can you all see my notepad screen? Shivam, it is visible?
Yes, it's visible. Notepad is.
Yes. Let's understand data cleaning and data transformation with normalization. What is the process of normalization? Raw data, for example, profits, sales, order date, region in your superstore data are all randomly generated by virtue of business. Similarly, in the retail banking data set or in the power plant data set, temperature, pressure, vacuum, all values are randomly generated by universe. Can a data analyst model the raw data as it is? No, it is highly dangerous. Why? Because when you are building predictive models or descriptive models or prescriptive models without undergoing a transformation process, those models by and large, when are evaluated and tested with unseen data, they may end up in biased outcomes or wrong predictions or wrong descriptions. Thus, to avoid uncertainty and to improve the performance of the data model in terms of prediction and accuracy, certain pre-processing techniques like scaling using normalization are done by the analyst. To understand normalization, let us take the certain data. Imagine these are the test scores obtained by a student in an exam, which are in a sequence. The formula usually used by normalization technique called min-max normalization goes like this. Min-max normalization is x minus minimum of x divided by maximum of x minus minimum of x. X minus minimum of x divided by maximum of x minus minimum. What does this x represent? X is a collection of data points. Now participants, tell me, what is minimum of x here? In the current scenario, minimum of marks scored by the student in the test is 1. Maximum of x is the maximum marks scored by the student in the test is 5. While x is nothing but x1, x2, x3, so on. That is each individual mark. Substitute these values in the formula. X1 represents number 1 minus minimum of x is 1 divided by maximum of x is 5 minus minimum of x is 1. When you do this calculation, it is 0 divided by 5. So the normalized value calculated is 0. So if I take the normalized form of x, the newly calculated value, normalized value for 1 is 0. Continue your process for other attributes, other data points. The second data point that we have to substitute is number 2 divided by minimum of x is 1. The denominator is maximum of x is 5 minus minimum of x is 1. So if you take the calculation, 2 minus 1 is 1 divided by 4. What is the calculated value, participants? 1 divided by 4 marks. Student friends, quick. It is 0.25. Now, for the value 1, raw data value 1, normalized value is 0. For raw data value 2, what is the normalized value we calculated? 0.25. Then continue the process like this. All values, whatever you calculate, dear friends, understand, normalized values will lie between 0 and 1. The essence of normalization is convert raw data to a scale, usually between 0 and 1. Now, typically you might ask me, sir, already the data that you took are on a scale between 1 to 5. Why should I do normalization? Isn't it or not, right? Already the data we took was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is in a sequence, already in a scale. Why should I do? Now, let me take some other data randomly. Instead of the sequences scores, imagine the student scores are at random. In the first attempt, student scored 25 marks. In the second attempt, scored 15 marks. Third attempt, 34 marks. Fourth attempt, 45 marks. While in the fifth attempt, only scored 12 marks. Isn't it unstructured raw data or not? What do you say, participants? This is the real world data. Students score marks in exam like this. Now let's apply the normalization technique and see the power of normalization. What is the minimum mark in the pattern? The minimum mark scored by the student in this scenario is 12 marks. What is the maximum mark obtained by the student participants? Maximum mark is 45. The maximum mark is 45. Now let's apply the so-called min-max normalization scaling technique. X minus minimum of x. What is x? X1. X1 is the mark scored in the first attempt. 25 minus minimum of x is 12 divided by maximum of x is 45 minus minimum is 12. Check out the calculation and tell me the result. 25 minus 12 is 13 divided by 45 minus 12 is 33. If anybody would tell this, I would really appreciate. Calculate it and tell me in the chat. 13 divided by 33. Of course, at math we are slow. That's why I said on day 1, at math we are slow. But if we apply the mathematics and arithmetic, we are fast. See the data, apply the analytics, then you are fast. Exactly. Thank you, everyone. 0.39 it seems. 0.39 is the normalized value for the raw data called 25. So for 25, the normalized value is 0.39. Continue your calculation, participants, with the second score. Second score is 15, minimum score is 12, while the difference is max minus min. Denominator remains same. 15 minus 12 is 3 divided by 33. Kindly calculate this value also and tell me. Very good, Harshini. 0.0091. Check out correctly. 0.0091 it seems. I'm taking it. 0.0091. Now, when you continue this process for other scores, more or less the normalized values for the raw data pattern will come around into a scale 0 to 1. Believe me, if you calculate and check out, the score comes between 0 and 1. Thus, Tableau, don't you think is normalizing the data, participants? What do you say? Scaling applied is what? Back to the Tableau screen. Did Tableau apply the normalization data cleansing processes or not? Check out in the summary model, describe clusters. Tableau was showing you an indicator. What was that? Can you all see my Tableau screen again?
Yes, it is.
Tableau applied which scaling technique, dear participants? Normalization was applied. That means all raw data pattern before going into a cluster model were successfully normalized. Then the number of clusters we built were 5 because we gave as an input to Tableau that number of clusters should be 5 and the number of data points in each cluster were allocated at random. But there is more to talk about these two important parameters in a clustering model technically: between group sum of squares, within group sum of squares. What does this mean? How many groups we have built, participants? Means clusters are 5. Don't you think each data point in each cluster, I mean each customer pattern in each cluster, will have a different characteristics to other data point in other cluster? Actually, there are two outcomes, either yes or no. When can a customer say yes? When can a customer say no? Is the outcome we are learning in the banking project. Such yes and no outcomes have been segmented based on the data characteristics into 5 different clusters. Hence, your decision is whether this 5 cluster model is a best model or not. You have to compare. What is the between group sum of squares? Between sum of group of sum of squares is 0.77 within group. This is called variance. The between group sum of squares is denoting the variance of the data points between the group and within the group. Within each cluster, the variance is very less. It is 0.01. But if you compare between the groups, 0.77. How to understand this value, participants? So if I take, instead of 5 clusters, if I take 6 clusters, after taking 6 clusters, that means dividing my data into more groups, let us see whether that between sum of group squares value will decrease, between whether the variance value will decrease or not. Let's go back, revise our cluster model. I am undoing it. So going back here, and remember between group sum of variance was 0.77. Now let's go back, build another clustering model here. Instead of 5 clusters, dear friends, I am choosing 7 clusters now. I mean, expanding data into more groups. Click OK. Now, Tableau has created 7 cluster model for us. Let's go and check out this summary and describe summary. With 7 clusters, what is the variance between sum of groups? Check out the value. 0.78. Is the variance increased slightly or not? When I increase the number of clusters, participants, has variance increased? A blindfold for any data analyst or statistical researcher or analytical researcher is any model which exhibits increasing variance is inconsistent model. A good model is that model in which the variance is decreasing and consistency is increasing. I repeat, how variance is being denoted? The parameters called between group and within group denote the variance of the data within clusters. So one should understand how many clusters should I build? You should build that many clusters in which the variance should be less, or between sum of errors, within sum of errors should always be less. That is the best clustering model which you should finally deploy or release for deployment. Are you understanding, everybody? Because many researchers, whenever they are doing unsupervised learning in their PhD thesis or postdoctoral, or students doing internship, always have this doubt. In clustering model, the only hyperparameter to be optimized is the number of clusters. Whereas in a regression model or in a classification model, the hyperparameters are the explanatory variables or your predictors. But in unsupervised learning clustering, the only hyperparameter that can control your model's efficiency is the number of clusters. Now, let's play a mind game. Finally, let's decrease the number of clusters to 3 and see the variance. So here I go. I'm building my another cluster model with the approach. And here I will give you, instead of 5 and 7, let's take only 3 clusters and check out the consistency of the model. Now this is a 3 cluster model. Go to the cluster model summary and check out the variance between the groups. Yes. Now with the 3 cluster model, now check out what is this between group. It is 0.73. Did variance between clusters decreased or not? Check out participants. It is slightly, but on another hand, keep an eye on variance within groups also. When we reduce the number of clusters from 7 to 3, variance started increasing 0.05. Earlier it was 0.01. So now you will get a typical confusion. What is that magical number of clusters I should create so that my variance is optimal at between groups and within groups? At this point, deciding that magical K is not that easy for a data practitioner. Hence, you have to go for model summary. Now I click on model tab. Can you all see my models tab? Tableau is displaying a interpretation report called analysis of variance. In short, statisticians call this as ANOVA. ANOVA, analysis of variance. How variance is fluctuating between group and within group, let us evaluate. Can you all see the p-value, participants? P-value technically is called probabilistic value that whether the model correctly created clusters or not, while F statistic is a measure of the hypothetical assumption made by a researcher whether clustering successfully was done. If F static value is 0, understand a typical interpretation which I am giving at the end of the day. If F static value is 0, participants, what should you understand? The clustering model which used the variables, which variable was used here? The count of deposit is insignificant. But if F static value shows a value other than 0 or typically a larger value, understand my English? If F statistic summary report parameter shows a value, any numerical value like this, what you're seeing on screen, or a bit higher, what should you understand? The variable being used for clustering is a significant variable, it's an important variable. But final decision whether to accept the clustering model or rejecting the clustering model depends on the p-value. The p-value is 0.19. Model generated p-value is 0.19. Once again, I'm opening my notepad. Let me share it. Can you all see my notepad?
Yes, it's
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
In the language of statistical or analytical research, dear participants, there is one testing called reliability testing, data reliability testing. What does this reliability testing mean is, a statistician named Kronbach defined a parameter called alpha. Alpha takes different levels of test significance for any statistical or analytical model. The test significance values go like this. That is 1% level of test significance, or 5% level of test significance, or 10% level of test significance with confidence intervals. These are all the language jargon I'm using from statistics at the end of the day, with confidence intervals of the models lying at 99%, 95%, and at 90%. If you want to build a model, analytical model on your raw data and research, reliability testing must be done finally to evaluate the model. So let's pick up the cluster model, what we have built with 3 clusters as of now in the scenario. So 3 clusters we have built as of now in the scenario. And what is the p-value of the 3 cluster model, participants? Check out the value which I highlighted. It is 0.1931, right? So that is the p-value of the 3 clusters model. The p-value of the 3 clusters model. P-value of 3 clusters is 0.193. 0.193. Compare this value with alpha, Kronbach alpha at 5% significance. 5% means 0.05. Is model given p-value Is it less than alpha or greater than alpha? Check out, participants. Cluster model generated p-value, is it less than 5% alpha test significance or greater than? Obviously 0.193 when compared is greater than 0.05. It is greater than 0.05, greater than alpha. Then in such a case, a researcher or a data analyst or a data scientist must reject null hypothesis. Must reject null hypothesis. But what is this null hypothesis? Let us understand. In the language of research, hypothesis is an initial assumption or a presupposition which forms the basis of research experiment. Null hypothesis is predictors. What are the predictors used in the banking data set? Predictors are, you have different predictors, explanatory variables, age, account balance, previous outcome, call duration, education, all these predictors. So how to create null hypothesis? Predictors doesn't affect. So I'm writing the null hypothesis, participants, like this. Predictors doesn't affect deposit buyer nature. Whereas we also have an alternative hypothesis, which is the contrary to the null hypothesis. The alternate hypothesis is predictors affect deposit buyer nature. Deposit buyer nature. So these are the two presuppositions which an analyst or a researcher must define before starting the analytical activity, either visualization or dashboard or modeling. Now, after visualizations, dashboards, stories, and modeling are completed, finally decide the outcome whether you want to accept null hypothesis or reject it. But on what basis would you do? If the conditions for acceptance or rejections are, the conditions are, these are the general conditions. With this, we'll close the session. If model generated p-value, try to understand these basics finally. If model generated p-value is greater than alpha value, then reject null hypothesis. This is the thing, null hypothesis. In this case, actually we have to accept it. Here, a small correction. Whereas if model, any model, be it a trend line model, forecast model, or a clustering model in general, if model generated p-value is greater than alpha, participants, alpha at 5% or alpha at 1% or alpha at 10% level of test significance, accept null hypothesis. Null hypothesis. Now, in our case, the 3-cluster clustering model resulted in what? P-value greater than alpha. Then we can accept null hypothesis. What is the null hypothesis here? Predictors are not significantly affecting deposit buyer nature. But after a lot of visualizations, we discovered predictors are affecting. That means, is our 3-cluster model really accepting? Come on. Actually, in our dashboards and in our story, we have learned a lot of great insights, right? What are the insights? They are affecting. But whereas the 3-cluster model is saying what, participants? It is not affecting. That means the 3-cluster model is not reliable. We have to further develop models. You have to develop with 4, 5, 6, 7 clusters, keep on tuning, improving the performance of the model, and finally concluding whether predictors affect the outcome or not. Whatever visual stories speak the truth, analytical models should also accept the truth. Visual should not speak something, model should not speak something, because either visual or model are all built on raw data only. This is the journey of modeling with Tableau, right? Hope all of you understood initial glimpse on how to develop a analytical model, right? Yes, you can elbow here, Kunada. You can elbow here. Just bring out the number of clusters, how you actually define building a plethora of models is essential in machine learning, as you all know, right, in analytical modeling. But what is that best k value? Where the variance, when you study the relationship, mathematical relationship between sum of squared errors, that is variance versus number of clusters in elbow model, what is that magical k value after which the variance never decreases further, or reduction in variance is insignificant? That's a k value. So I have typically done 3 models for your request participants, k value with 5, 7 and 3, and you all witnessed with your eye how the variance was fluctuating in these 3. Based on that, you can go with the optimal k value model as a final one, and then you can pick up the selection or acceptance or rejection of hypothesis. Now, that's all for the day 5 discussions on building COVID analysis dashboard, story points, and Tableau public distribution of knowledge base, and additional discussions, knowledge session on data modeling with Tableau. Now, the floor is open for questions, participants. Shivam, permit our participants to post questions in the chat. Any questions are welcome. Ashish says, what are the statistical? Very good question, Ashish. Before becoming an analytical leader of research in academia or industry, every learning must have prerequisite. For an effective data scientist of the world, you must learn certain prerequisites. You must learn certain prerequisites. Stats, mathematical foundation, computer utilization techniques in terms of data. These are all the technical stack that you have to learn. Non-technical stack, which is a great ingredient to explore analytical options, is point of common sense thinking. The point of common sense thinking is much required. If to be a passionate data scientist or a machine learner or analytical AI modeler, if one thinks from a point of common sense and is able to connect data with the dots correctly, then you can unleash analytics to a greater extent. Kalyani, you're asking to what extent I can do analytics in Tableau. See, there is no point of limit in a tool. You are more inclined with the question to ask, can I do all the machine learning algorithms, AI practices with Tableau? To an extent possible, visual analytics tools like Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, ClickSense, many others in the market are each born with certain capabilities. Each one have got equipped with their essence to offer analytical modeling to the market user. While a lot of programming capabilities have to be still incorporated in Tableau, like programming languages like R, Python are ruling the world because of their richness in the library functions with which a data modeler can unleash patterns of data. But how well is this programming capability accepted by a common man is a question of the hour. That's why knowledge communities like Tableau and others are coming forward, putting contributions to simplify the process of knowledge management with simple navigations. Okay, yes. There are many techniques, Priyanka, like the null values handling, outlier treatment. So each of the data activities, actually the bootcamp was coined only to demonstrate for your project experience on the journey to be technically savvy, awareness on utilization, on making a dirty hand with Tableau approach, but the process of unleashing Tableau is still undiscovered yet. Fresher approach to a data scientist, very good question, because a lot of career opportunities are there undoubtedly for the next coming decades of years in data science. By this time, if you all check the demand of data scientists, analytical modelers visual analyst, there is a huge one. But to be a fresher, as I already briefed, technical and non-technical assets have to be gained by you all. The technical assets is develop the essence of equipping the statistical flavor, mathematical understanding of data, mathematical nomenclature of modeling the data, and a glimpse of technical tools. While many are in a hurry to learn technologies, hoping that if I learn certain technical platforms, I might get a job, believe me, you are thinking partially correct and partially wrong. Only learning a technology is just a catalyst for your career progression. But without proper domain knowledge, proper understanding of how to actually include the necessities like stats, math, and the utilization of proper technical platform, the learning of technology is meagerly just a simple value addition. That's why, dear friends, I say, start your journey as a beginner or as an advanced learner even by focusing initial efforts on the basic of stats that you have learned, right from measures of central tendency, measures of spread deviation, all these essentials, probability modeling of data, probability models, distributions of probability are essentials equipped by your mathematical concepts essentially required like centroid, Euclidean distance modeling, Mahalanobis distance modeling, all are required. When you know the ABCs of the stat and math, your journey of the language is empowered by picking up the right tool. There are world of operational software IT rising like mushrooms every day. One has to decide how will you utilize the technology. Dear friends, to my final question, is every technology is really a magic? Reply with yes or no with your answers. Whether it is Tableau or Excel or Power BI or your traditional databases or your programming languages, is every technology that you have lived and learned till today was a magic? Yes. But the real magic of unleashing the technology, whatever you work with, lies in the magical data itself. That's why organizations must consider data as the magical asset and equip the data with magical technology. You are a magician of technology, then I say. That's why it is always said, if you want to introduce innovative ideas to the market, the only challenge is not to innovate only about technology, only about the challenge. Innovate how to integrate them to build the real magic, I say. Yeah. Hope you all understood all the essentialities. So the final checklist, participants: domain knowledge, technical stack including stat, math, and computer tool utilization. Apart from this, analytical knowledge, especially in Tableau, identifying right chart visualization for right data modeling, and then presenting the facts in the format with a list of tools available. This is how things go on with visual analytics. Yeah, Mitesh, certainly, I think SmartBridge would come forward more and more opportunities in the coming days. Already it has been discovering wonderful opportunities from the past 5 years. The CEO and his team are working great. And I have done a lot of knowledge sessions on machine learning, deep learning, and other advanced practices in data sciences. So this is all about all the leftover discussions today. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see all the learnings shared, discussions, and deliberations done shall not be limited only for a view, but also to be put forward in the coming days of DataViz challenge. God bless you all. Take care. Become busy for the next 10 days with visual analytics with Tableau. That's all from my side. Thank you, Team SmartBridge, for the invitation extended. Thank you, Amarinder, the CEO. Thank you, Shivam, for backing up in the last 2 days and also delivering a great session, boy. And thank you, one and all. Thank you, all participants, for patiently listening to all of us from day one. Thank you. Over to you, Shivam.
Yeah. Thank you again, Mr. Mohan sir, for delivering such a wonderful session. And it was a pleasure to have you with us from last 2 days. or from the first day also. And I hope all of you understand today's session. And now we will move on to how to enroll for the challenge. So over to Mr. Hemant sir.
Shivam and Hemant, I am leaving for timing. You people can continue.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thanks
sure.
for your time, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mohan sir.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Shivam.
Over to you, Mr. Hemant sir.
Yeah, thanks, Shivam. So, am I audible, Shivam?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So, dear participants, today I'm here to just demonstrate you the procedure to enroll into your domain, and I'll even explain what files to be submitted to us for the evaluation and how to make use of our Smart Interns platform. Okay, so before getting dived into that, I just need to mention a point here is like while taking your registrations, we have asked your domain, right? There are some questions from participants that can we change the domain? Yes, of course. Now we have opened all the domains enrollments for you. You have domains like 6 domains given. You can choose any of these 6 domains and work on your project challenge. Okay, for your challenge you can choose any of these 6 domains. It's not mandatory that you have to choose only the domain which you have given for at the time of your registrations. Okay, I hope I'm very clear with this, right? And now your first step is to visit our website, that is smartinterns.com/tableau hyphen database hyphen challenge hyphen 2021. Let me even share this link for you in the chat. And yep, Monica, thanks for the question. You cannot choose more than one. You are limited to choose only a single domain. In case if you are registering for multiple domains, we'll be considering the latest submissions only. If say I have registered for horticulture and water and sanitizations, if I'm registered for both, and first I'll be submitting water and sanitation, then if I submit horticulture, we'll be considering only horticulture. We'll just delete, will not consider water and sanitization. Okay. And yep, so your first step is to navigate to our website, that is smartinterns.com/tableau tableau hyphen database hyphen challenge hyphen 2021. Once you navigate onto this page, please scroll your page down to this challenge theme section. Okay, in this you have been displayed all our 6 challenges, 6 domains which we are given for this challenge. Okay, so you have been given 2 options here, that is enroll and no more. When you click on this no more, you will be taken to our government website where all your data sets are being made available. Okay, so you need to just download your data set from this and start your visualizations. Now I hope you're like I'm very clear like from where you have to get the data set for the particular domain. Is it clear for you? Yeah, thanks for the confirmation. So now let me tell you the steps to enroll for the project. Okay, now let's say I am choosing this insurance. Okay, insurance as my domain, and I want to register for it or enroll for it. You have been given an option called enroll. Just click on enroll. Once you click on enroll, you will be taken to our inner page. Just again click on enroll now, then you will be taken to your student login. Dear participants who have a students login on our platform can directly give your login credentials and get logged in. And for the participants who have visited this Smart Interns uh, challenge, or particular to this Smart Interns for the first time, when you have registered for this event, we have created a student login for you, and auto mail has been generated with your username and password. Please make a use of it. So just give your username and password and then click on login. Okay, Even educators, we have given you a login for educator, and for the educators it is something like smartinterns.com/educator hyphen login. For educators, this is the link. So let me even give this links to you. Okay, you can make use of any of the data set, or you can even club the data sets. It's your choice. Like, this is a challenge, we cannot give everything to your hand, right? We made we have just given you other data sets. Now it's your challenge to make which you have to take a decision to select the data set and give the best out of the given data sets. Okay, and now once you click on enroll, you can see here under my project sections I have been enrolled for this insurance. Like, just click on this card. So here in the instruction sections we have mentioned the step-by-step procedure, the first step, second step, third step, and a fourth step, and even a fifth step. In this fifth step, we have mentioned what files to be shared to us. So we have given all the instructions very clear to you here. And then you have a project option here. When you click on this project, you will be taken to our Smart Interns project workspace. Okay, just click on go to project workspace. So your duration is 10 days. Please neglect this duration what we are showing here. Your duration time is 10 days. Okay, your project title has been shown. Title is nothing but domain in this challenge, and then your name will be shown here. Okay, so again we have provided you some mentor instructions here. Please go through this mentor instructions, and we have even given a Slack channel link where you can join the Slack channel. If you have any queries, our mentors will be supporting you. Okay, as I've mentioned, you can enroll only for a single domain. Yep. So here we have made available, like we have given an option of Git repo, and we have given an option of project document. Okay. So this project doc is nothing but to write your project report. You use Word, Microsoft Word and all, right? So instead of using your Microsoft Word, we have you know enabled this project doc online project document where you can create your document then here itself in your project workspace. You don't need to go to your Word, and we only accept the project documents which are written in this project doc. Okay, so then I'll tell you about this Git repo a bit later. So now here when you click on this domain name, you will be shown all the milestones to be done under that particular domain. Okay, all the milestones to be done under that particular domain. Now here my first milestone is like Tableau desktop, right? When I click on this Tableau desktop, I have two activities to be done here. That is download the software and activate the license. Okay, so if say I have downloaded my software and I have activated my license. So now what you have to do after this one milestone is completed, you have been given a task and progress section here. That is nothing but your Kanban board. Okay, each and every milestone will be shown here. I'll just check it out why it's not showing all the milestones. Just permit me till morning. Let me check this out once. So just say like I have to, your all milestones will be shown here and along with their activities. Okay, so let's say I have built my storytelling dashboard. Just move this storytelling dashboard. If your work is in progress, just move this card to in progress section, and if you are done building this storytelling dashboard, just move it to our review section. Okay, just move it to our review section. And the point to be noted here, the participants, is you cannot move this card to a complete section. You cannot move your task to a complete section. This task or this card can be moved to a complete section by the mentors, and this will be done after your project review. Okay, once we review your projects, we will move these cards to a complete section. And now, as you can see, I have just dragged my card from backlog to a review in progress and then to review.
you can see here my progress will be increasing here. It's a 90% now, right? So we'll be tracking each and every participant's project progress from these percentages only. Once, as soon as you complete your project milestones, you make sure that you move your Kanban board, you even update your Kanban board, okay? Because this Kanban board is only a track to us of the project, like the participants is participating or not. This is only a track to us. So I request all the participants without fail to move all these milestones, all these cards to a in progress or a working. When you are working on that particular task, just move it to a in progress section, and once it is done, just move it to a review section. Okay. And then coming back to your, here we have a mentor review. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can comment it. Our mentors will be reply, or I suggest the best way to send to ask your queries is a Telegram group. Join our Telegram group. Our mentors will be there in that particular Telegram group. They'll answer your queries if you have any. Okay. And once after we complete your review, as I told, we'll just move this cards to complete section. Now coming back to this project document, these project documents can be opened by using the password given here. So we have given a bold color, black color bold letters, which is your password. And please make sure that you only copy the bold color, bold letters which have been given, because sometimes participants copy the space behind it, so space beside it, and it don't work out for them. Just click on this project doc, give your password to it, and then click on view file. Oops. Sorry, I think there's some problem with our project doc. Just again, sorry for this excuse. Just give me time till morning. I'll just sort it out and get back to you via Telegram group. Okay. So your project documents open there. You can write your entire project documents, and even you can download your project document from there. Okay. So then I have a Git repo. Now in this Git repo, what files to be submitted, I'll show you here. And even one point I forgot to mention is, like, once after building your story or your dashboard, you need to publish it to a Tableau Public for sure. To accept your submissions, you need to publish it to your Tableau Public for sure. And apart from publishing it to Tableau Public, you need to submit us these files. You need to give us a dashboard link, or you need to give us a dashboard link and the dashboard downloaded in a PDF format. I guess our trainers have told you how to download the particular dashboard in a PDF format, right? Or any downloadable file of the particular dashboard should be submitted to us. A short 4 minutes video explaining your complete demonstration of the project. Okay. And then the screenshots of the dashboard, or if you have some drop downs, you have some various charts and bars, you have to give all the screenshots to us along with the project documentation. Once you have written your project document, once you have done with your project documentation in this project doc, you need to download it as a PDF version and upload the same to our Git repo. And this all files what we have mentioned here are 4 files you have to submit to us through a Git repo. Okay. And coming to the point, second point, again, a video. You need to record a video, entire project explanation, and then you have to upload that particular video to a YouTube or a Google Drive and share the link to us. Okay, hope I'm clear. And then now to submit these files, you need to collaborate with your Git repo. So how to collaborate is, like, when you click on this Git repo, you'll get a pop-up something like this. Okay, just give your Git username here. When you give your Git username and click on check and collaborate, you'll get a pop-up like successfully got an invite for a project Git repo. Now let me go back to my email, and this invitation will be sent to a email address which is associated with your Git repository. It will not be shared to an email which is associated with your Smart Interns ID. It will be sent to an email ID which is associated with your GitHub, okay, your Git account. If you don't have any Git account, it is recommended and you have to create your Git account and submit the files. We accept only in this way. Okay. So here, let me switch to my mail now. Just give me a minute. So here it is. You'll get an invitation, something like this. And you need to make sure that your GitHub account is opened in the site beside tab when you accept this invitation. Just click on this view invitation, or just click on this view invitation when you click on this. So if you don't sign in to your Git when clicking on this view invitation, this is how you get. You need to sign into your Git account before accepting that view invitation. Once you click on your view invitation, you'll get a pop-up like accept. Just click on that accept. So that what happens, your Git gets collaborated with your workspace, and then you can submit all the files which we are recommending to submit. And yes, it is compulsory to make a video. The video should be submitted via a YouTube link or a Google Drive link. And if you are submitting this video through a Google Drive link, please make sure that you are giving access to us. You are making the link as a private, not as a public. Sorry, you're making it as a public, not a private. Okay. So if you have any queries, I'm open for the queries. To create your Git accounts, you just go to github.com. Tentative, as per the challenge, we have given only a 10 days time. To create your GitHub account, just go to your github.com, click on sign up, and you can just create your account. In the 4 minutes video, you have to you can enroll for your project in this entire 10 days, any 10 days, but you have to submit your project on or before, let me tell you the date. It's on or before 30th April. The Git link should be shared in a GitHub. You will be having a README file there. You just give the links in that README file. We'll take from that. Email ID and password for the Smart Interns have been mailed to you if you are a new user for our platform. Or you can just directly create it. If you are a student, just go to smartinterns.com/student login, and you can just create on this registrations and just create your accounts by filling up the form. I don't know like who's this, but the name is given as a Tableau King. As I've told you, if you have given some other domain while you're getting registered, no issues. You just enroll for a domain which you are interested to work on now. Last date 13th was given only for the event registrations, not for the project registrations. Project enrollment has started just today, or you can even enroll for, you can start enrolling for tomorrow morning. It's no issues with that. You can even start your enrolling from now and from tomorrow morning. If you don't know the password, just give your email ID and just select, click on forget password. You'll get a temporary password. If you're enrolling for 2 domains, in the project sections, you can see the 2 cards of both the domains. Okay. Yes, one project means one storytelling dashboard is to that particular domain, right? Winners will be allotted with your prize money. You can just check with your terms and conditions. We have mentioned there. At the time of registrations, we have given the terms and conditions. In that, we have mentioned already. Yes, you can use your GitHub, which is existing. If the both the email IDs are different, no issues. As you will be giving us as you will be collaborating your Git repository with our workspace, that's fine. Again and again, I'm getting the same questions like how many projects? Projects is nothing but a domain. Each domain represents a single project. You are allowed to enroll for only a single domain. If you are enrolling for multiple domains, we'll accept the project which is submitted at the latest. Yes, you can. Saurabh Shukla, yes, you can. If you don't have any sort of doubts, please please fill the feedback form and you can leave for the day. Saket, we have given you e-learning access. If you have created your accounts and if you have gone through a single course, you can just move the title, move the task card to a for complete. No, we don't we are not asking for any certificate if it is generated after completing your e-learning. Recording of this session will be on our YouTube channel as soon as I end this session. You will be able to download the data set Harika from the link which we have given. If you're not able to do, I request Shivam to please capture a short video of downloading this data set and please make sure that this reaches to the participants by early in the first hour.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. And all the certificates will be issued only after this challenge ends. It might be a boot camp, it might be a challenge participating certificate. Any certificate will be issued only after the event is closed. I recommend to use your Zoom for recording this sessions so that you can share your screen on your cam and do the things in a clear. You can explain your video in a clear and we'll be getting all the things. Voice is a mandatory thing in the video. If you just record the video and give, we'll not accept that video. You have to explain the video. Participant certificates are there, winner certificates are there, both are there. Yes, project doc can be accessed from tomorrow. I'll make sure that let's give me the time till tomorrow evening. I'll make sure that everything gets solved. In a video, I need you to explain the complete process of the storytelling dashboard, like what it tells, how you have done, what it tells. You have to just demonstrate the project, how you demonstrate your projects to in your colleges or somewhere where you present your project. In the same way, you need to present your project in that video. Yes, of course, you can show the project in your video. And the data sets are strictly to be used by from the link which we have given. Yes, you need to talk in the video. If you have multiple data sets in the particular domain, please select any one of the data set and do a work on it. You just make sure that you get a best out of that, best dashboard out of all the domain data sets provided. Owning your cam is up to you. I'll do a thing. I'll just record the steps how to upload your documents to your GitHub by collaborating it and provide you by tomorrow evening. Physical appearance, as I've told, it's up to you. I don't mandate the appearance. Deadline to submit the challenge projects is 30th April. On or before 30th April. 30th April 11:59, we'll close the dashboard. Like we'll close the access to you. Participants who have attended the boot camps will get boot camp certificates. Participants who have attended the boot camp and submitted the projects will get both mentioned things in a single certificate. We don't assign the projects. You have to enroll for the project, Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy. Screenshot of the dashboard in the sense you will be making a dashboard where you have some visualizations and all, right? That screenshot I'm asking. Yes, if you are completing the particular task, you have to move the task card to your review section. You cannot move to your complete section. Complete section will be moved by the mentors. Yep, I guess we are done with the time, and I wish all the participants a very good luck for this challenge. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Hemant sir, and thank you to all for joining the session. And I hope all of you understand there. And all the best for the challenge, guys. So, shall we wind up the session, sir?
Yes, please.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you all participants for your time and
Thank you.
patience. Thank you all. Have a great day and all the best for the challenge.
All the best for the challenge, guys. Thank you. And the session.